And John, with all that in mind, obviously there's a hurricane warning in the Orange Bowl for the #2 team in the country, set to try to move up to #1 if they can get by Washington. So many great memories in this building. None any finer than Super Bowl 10. The one that someone once said could catch a snowflake in a wind tunnel. The ballet-like number 88, Lynn Swann, the most valuable player of that Super Bowl. And Swanee's down at just about the same spot on the field as he was named the MVP. Third man in our crew, Lynn Swann. Swanee.
Brad, thank you very much. It's amazing standing on this very spot how the impact of a few moments can change your entire career and indeed your entire life. Another person who understands that is the head coach for the Miami football team, Larry Coker. Because you see, September 9th, the year 2000, he was the offensive coordinator for the Miami Hurricane team as they played the Huskies in Seattle. They lost the first half of that football game. It cost them the whole game and a chance for the national championship. Today, he plays the same Husky football team 1 year and 3 months later. And he is on the precipice of taking his team, given what happened on Friday to Nebraska and today to Oklahoma, to a national championship game. And it's amazing, guys, because this is a huge moment now for Larry Coker.
He is center stage, Swanee. Miami won the toss. They deferred. Washington will be receiving Todd Seaver's kick. Kenny Dorsey will have to wait with his offense. As Miami, unbelievable at home, they only give up 2 points a game on this field.
Well, you can be sure that Larry Coker reminded his players, and I'm sure they didn't have to be reminded of what happened yesterday with Nebraska and what happened with Oklahoma. And you know, you've got to go out and play the game, but you know, let's just do what we have to do the way we always do it.
Alexander and Frederick are back awaiting the kick. Seavers blasts this one out of the back of the end zone. So the Huskies will work from their own 20. And here's the quarterback that Bob talked about, Cody Pickett. He's a tough cookie. 2,246 yards, 10 touchdowns, missed some time with a separated shoulder. Still bothers him at times, but he doesn't slide very often, and he won't come out of a game unless you drag him out.
Yeah, he's a tough kid. You can play with a separation. No surgery will be required, but when he gets it hit, it hurts quite a bit.
Washington will open in a 2 tight end set. Rich Alexis is the tailback, and he gets the call. He's a local product, and he gets 4 yards on the first carry. Washington offensively up front. Kyle Benn is the leader there. The guys around him, Barnes, Newton, Zajac, and Backert, were all untested when this season started. Willie Hurst we had listed as a starting tailback, but as you saw, Alexis carried it for the first time in the game. Walker, the fullback, Williams and Arnold, the wide receivers. Jeremy Stevens started in that 2 tight end offense. There he is, and he's back and healthy, and he's a huge target at 6'7". Second down and 6, and the backfield is empty. Pickett down the middle. He hit Stevens, and he didn't hold it. Nice hit by Vilma, the middle linebacker, prevented the completion. Penalty marker on the far side of the field at the 29-yard line. Our referee is Jack Kramer. Illegal man downfield. Miami defensively. A lot of depth on their defensive line. McDougal, Joseph had a great game last week. Walters and Jamal Green. The linebackers, Williams, Vilma, who just made that hit, and Chris Campbell. Vilma, their leading tackler. Secondary, maybe second to none in the country as a group. Rumpf and Buchanan, the corners. Lewis and Reed are the safeties.
This is an outstanding group, that secondary. Buchanan last week had a career day. Returned an interception for a touchdown, had a sack, a fumble recovery, and almost returned a punt for a touchdown.
He was our Chevy player of the game last week. So it's going to be second down and 11
Washington
now.
wants to come out, and then you throw quickly. Don't take a lot of time. Short drops, quick passes.
High backfield. Pickett fires down the middle. It's intercepted by Jonathan Vilma. Vilma with a stiff arm down the sideline, and Miami's got the football. Vilma read that thing like a comic book, Bob.
Well, Vilma is right behind the linebackers. Go ahead and run it. Top of your screen. Number 51 right there, just cuts right in front of him. That's the 34th takeaway for the Hurricane defense this year.
And it's their 18th interception. Vilma with a nice run back to the 13-yard line. That's where he sets his offense up. And now a hush comes over the crowd as Kenny Dorsey asks for quiet so he can hear his own count and his own thoughts. And he drops to throw over the middle. Completes it inside the 10 and down near the 6-yard line. And that's Darryl Jones, a pickup of 7. Ken Dorsey, 23 wins as a starter, 19 touchdowns, 4 of those last week.
He holds the career passing mark at Miami. 54 touchdowns in a career, and he's only 3 years through his college career. He's got another year left.
Keep Shockey in mind, the tight end. They love him down here close, but they'll run it. It's Portis, left side, touchdown. Oh boy, Washington didn't need this to happen.
Well, this is not the way Washington wanted it to start, and Larry Coker in Miami has got to be careful that they don't get complacent with too easy and too quick a score.
7-yard touchdown, but again, Vilma's the guy that set it up. Severs for the extra point. It's good.
From behind the defense, the blocking up front. Bibla comes over, gets a nice block. There's Shockey, 88.
There's
McKinney.
Bibla.
Bibla's there. Williams is 80. You don't need to move them much when you got these offensive line. Just get a crease, and Portis gets through it. We're going to look at this thing every which way. We're going to dissect this thing. It's only a 5-yard run, but it's the first one.
Hey, but it's Saturday night.
That's right. We got it.
A 2-play drive, and as Bob said, takeaways turn to points for this group.
Well, we mentioned the defense in the opening with one of the problems that Cody Pickett was going to face, the noise and the defense just jumped up and bit him.
So Severs set the kick again. When Miami scores first, you can almost forget about it. This time, a knuckleball. They have to let it go. It'll be a touchback. Brock Alexander downs it in the end zone. So Pickett, you wonder how shell-shocked he might be now.
Well, this does not do anything for a quarterback's confidence to fly all the way across the country and then go against the #1 defense in the country and then throw an interception on your first possession.
That ain't good. So they'll huddle on the sideline and bring it out to the 20. There's the guy that spoiled his opening series, John Vilma. And again, the crowd comes to full throttle. Walker, the fullback, in motion. On the give, it's Alexis. Got about 3. Rich Alexis, a sophomore out of right here in Florida, and says he still gets homesick. Well, he's back home now, but he's wearing a gold helmet. Last year, Rick Neuheisel said, I wanted to put him in so his folks could watch him back home. Well, 50 yards later, he had a touchdown.
And he gets the start tonight because Willie Hurst banged up his knee in practice, had a broken finger in the game last week, so Alexis gets the start.
And he gets the call again. Left side, Vilma's got him, but he drags people with him. Tough run. A good one for 5. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
And if you're wondering about Washington and how they get it done, running the ball this year is not what they do.
Nope.
They're 95th in the nation in running the football. 15th in the country in passing. Keith Gilbertson, the offensive coordinator, who is 31-3 as an offensive coordinator at Washington, says this year we're throwing the ball.
They're probably going to hear. Third down along 3. Both wideouts to the near side. We haven't seen Reggie Williams yet, their sensational freshman. He wears number 1. Pickett throws short, and that's a first down. Got it out to the 34 to Paul Arnold, his other wide receiver.
Well, that's exactly what the Huskies need. They just need some first downs. Settle down. Make some first downs. 3 steps. Throw up and step up and throw it quickly. This offensive line is young. The defensive line for the Hurricanes is aggressive and have a lot of sacks.
Rumpf made the tackle, but it's a first down at the 34. Now a 3 wideout grouping. It's a draw play inside. Alexis has some room to run this time across the 40, and he's out to the 41 as he got 7. Jamal Green tracked him down from behind, and now Alexis head to the sideline.
Keith Gilbertson, the offensive coordinator, has been around a lot of football. Been in the NFL, been to Washington and back a couple of times. The plays you see, the first 15 or 20 plays of this game, are the ones that he likes the best from watching tape of all the University of Miami games this year.
Hurst comes in now at tailback as Alexis gets a breather. Second down, a long 2. Pickett wanted to throw a slant. Dangerous pass that Buchanan almost grabbed. And Phillip is mad at himself for not holding on to that.
Well, you know, I think the Hurricane defense likes the scheme of this offense. That is, throw the ball. I think they like to play a passing team. Buchanan maybe should have had that ball. I think he was a little bit surprised that the ball was going to be thrown that late.
Our 1st and 10 brought to you by Chevy Trucks, and you can see the line is just across the 44, and that's third down and a long 2 away. Empty backfield again. Pickett a pump fake, and now he's got a man wide open. What a one-handed catch by Hurst. How did he hold on to that thing? Caught it in the crook of his elbow, and it's a first down.
Well, you've got to be able to throw to your backs. You just can't throw to your wide receivers. When you throw to your backs, you're throwing on versus the linebackers. Little pump fake. Look at, oh, unbelievable.
That's a wicked catch.
Unbelievable. Hurst came in with 11 catches on the year.
None better than that one.
None better than that one.
And they're in Miami territory at the 48-yard line. First down. Alexis back in there as Pickett drops to throw, and he goes to Alexis over the middle, and he's got another first down inside the 35 to the 34. Nice play selection. Nice mix-up here for Washington. They pick up 13 more yards.
Gilbertson is a master at calling plays. You know, it's him against this Miami defense, and they're very aggressive. Watch 24 coming out of the backfield, goes right through the line of scrimmage and then goes across. Quarterback knows he's going to go to the little back there. Nice short throw, looks off the linebackers. Nice play.
Rick Neuheisel looking on. His team comes in 8-2 on the season. 8th play of this drive. Alexis again off tackle and a big opener. Alexis might take it all the way down to the 4-yard line, and there might be a face mask tacked on the end. And the local Florida products putting on a show for the hometown folks. Played at John Paul II High School here in the Miami area, and he's off to a big start in the first quarter.
Well, he certainly is, and this will help. There you got it, the face mask. This will help that passing game of Washington. From behind the defense. 67 is Newton, comes across, gets a block. Reed can't make the tackle.
There's the face mask.
Right there.
So it'll go half the distance to the goal, which isn't much of an addition, but it's a 1st and goal for the Huskies at the Miami 2.
Washington comes in here with some confidence that they can beat this team.
Let's see if Alexis gets the call again. He got him close. He's got it again. Miami's got him stuffed this time. Chris Campbell submarined underneath and then got help from his Hurricane friends. And it'll be 2nd down and goal.
Miami has only given up 9 touchdowns all year. That's 9 touchdowns in 9 games.
And we mentioned they give up an average of only 2 points a game on their home field. They've gone about 17 quarters without giving up a touchdown at all, haven't they? 1 touchdown in the last 17 quarters. 2nd down and goal. Alexis again. Cuts back inside. He's stopped again.
Ooh.
And the Hurricane defenders come to meet him.
Oh, yes. I think he should have gone outside. And he left his friends. His friends were going around the end, and he just cut up inside, and there was like 3 orange shirts.
Led by Vilma, the middle linebacker, who's made the play of the game so far. There's Jonathan, and he's getting better every week. A young fella out of right here in Coral Gables. He didn't have to travel far to play linebacker for Miami. 3rd down and goal, back at the 3 now. The 11th play of the Washington drive. Alexis behind his fullback. He won't get there. They tried Alexis 3 times. 3 times he was denied by the Canes defense. And now Rick Neuheisel with a decision to make.
I'm a little surprised down here 3 times, and you run it every time. The best opportunity to throw inside the 5 is on 1st down when they're not expecting it.
And the Huskies are going to go for it.
Well, Rick said expect some things unexpected. Expect some surprises, things we're going to take some chances with.
Hurst back in at the tailback. It's 4th and goal at the Miami 1. And tripping is Pickett. Miami takes over on downs. I don't know if one of his linemen stepped on his foot or he slipped on his own, but there goes a scoring opportunity.
He was stepped on for sure. That's the bad news. Watch his foot. Oh, you can't tell there, but I can tell you from experience he does get stepped on or tripped.
Looked like his guard pulled around and got him.
Yeah. Let's take a look here. Yeah, he either got stepped on or tripped. That's the bad news. The good news is you lead Miami back inside their 10-yard line.
Scoring opportunity goes by the boards. Miami leads by 7. Miami 7-0 and backed up at their own 6-yard line after taking over on downs. And penalty markers stop this one. Washington pointing fingers at the Miami line, as you might expect. Illegal procedure against Miami. Let's go back to the play that turned the ball back over to Miami.
The center right here, watch his drop step. The center pin's going to drop a step right there.
Boom.
And steps on his foot. That happens a lot, especially down inside the 5 to 4 yard line when the guards want to take a drop step to get their blocks.
Portis on the carry, and Portis is wrapped up in a hurry. He got very little. Miami offensively, here's the big eaters, and this is as good a group as you'll find. McKinney, Wilkins, Romberg, Bibla, and Gonzalez. Portis, the tailback, Najee Davenport's the fullback, Johnson and Jones, the wideouts, and Shockey, one of the big-time tight ends in this country. And we spent some time with Jeremy yesterday, a fun-loving guy from Ada, Oklahoma.
First thing about him when I shook hands, how big his hands were.
He's got some mitts.
Oh, he's got some hooks.
2nd down at 12 now. Dorsey, nice play fake, throwing from his own end zone's got his man, and it's Andre Johnson. And that's out to about the 13-yard line. Picked up 8 defensively for Washington. Kai Ellis is an outside linebacker that plays like a defensive end. Roberson, Triplett, one of the best tackles in America, and Josh Miller. The linebackers, Madavi, Willis, and Blanche. And the secondary, Lowe, Carruthers, Davis, and Massey. And Omari Lowe's had a heck of a season for him. And there's Larry Triplett. And he's a good player and going to be a good one at the next level. 3rd down and 3. Dorsey getting some heat, going long. Johnson out there, just over his fingertips. Another 2 or 3 inches, and he catches that, and it's a touchdown.
They had him out there. The wind is blowing from our right to left, and that ball was sailing with the wind.
That's how close.
That's Cunningham that he beat. It's a true freshman on the coverage.
Half shot, a punt. Charles Frederick, another kid from right here in this area, takes it on the other end. Got about 3 yards on the return before he stumbles. And Washington, having come up empty last time, has good field position for their offense on their 3rd drive, which is upcoming after this timeout. 6:20 left, first quarter.
Hey, Hallie Eisenberg drinking a Pepsi.
Actually, this isn't a Pepsi. It's new Pepsi Twist with lemon. And I'm not Hallie Eisenberg.
I'm Halle Berry.
Drinking Pepsi Twist.
Well, it's not exactly Pepsi Twist. It's Diet Pepsi Twist. And I'm not exactly Halle Berry.
You know.
I'm Barry Bostwick.
Who is Barry Bostwick?
Like twists? Try new Pepsi Twist in regular and diet. A lemon twist on that great Pepsi taste.
After the new Chevy Trailblazer, everything else just seems kind of weak. The all-new 270 horsepower Chevy Trailblazer, like a rock.
I was heading for the beginner's trail when it hit me. My sore muscles were telling me where to ride. Time to switch to Advil. It's strong enough to let me control the pain, even on Challenger's peak. Take Advil and take control.
It's us versus them. Them are skimpy toppings. Us is Pizza Hut. We load them on our new Ultimate Pepperoni Lovers Pizza. 2 layers of pepperoni, and now with 6 kinds of cheese, just $8.99. $8.99. The new Ultimate Pepperoni Lovers Pizza. Only at us, Pizza Hut.
Great moments in Orange Bowl history. Wouldn't be complete without a guy that probably played more games at quarterback than anybody could imagine. There, it's a fake handoff to Zonka that froze Mike Curtis, and then get it to Warfield. Ball Warfield, that'll be a touchdown. And then short yardage, you got to go to your tight end. Man ditch across the middle, touchdown. How many games you play in this place, Bob?
I don't know, but I played 13 years, and it was nice coming back here. I hadn't been back here for a long time. And just walking out on the field have brought a lot of good memories.
I said it last week, but it's like walking around with the mayor of Miami when you walk into the Orange Bowl with Bob Griese. Hey, Bob! Hey, Bob!
That was nice. Thank you, guys.
Washington from the 39-yard line. Here's a give to Hurston. He is dropped by Vilma. Man, has Jonathan Vilma come to play. Loss of 2.
He's the middle linebacker, and we talked to him yesterday, and he doesn't weigh a lot. He weighs about 215, 220. Plans on gaining some weight, but he's got the quickness that they look for in those linebackers at Miami.
You mentioned Ray Lewis to him, and he mentioned Webster and some of those guys that have played before him.
Michael Barrow.
Barrow, yep.
They all had speed, and then they grew into the position.
He wants to be 10 pounds heavier by next year. He's pretty darn good right now. Empty backfield again for Pickett. On second down, Cody looking for a place to go and getting some heat. Flags are down. Might be a holding call. He gets the pass completed. And nope, now they're going to say out of bounds anyway. Got it out to Todd Elstrom, but I think there was a holding with all that scrambling going on. So they'll back it up.
This holding happened well behind the line of scrimmage.
You've got to think if the coverage wasn't so good downfield, Pickett wouldn't have had to do all that extra scrambling around. He couldn't find anybody open. There you go.
That looks like holding.
William Joseph with Nick Newton having a handful of Joseph's jersey.
Bob, you mentioned what I think is a key to this weekend of college football, the word confidence, the last time Washington had the ball. It's the one thing that Miami does not want the Huskies to gain. If you watch the Nebraska game, Colorado gained so much confidence that they continued. Oklahoma game 13-6. Oklahoma State had to have the confidence. Boston College had it in a tight ball game. You want to take it away from Washington right here.
And Washington thought they had regained that edge last drive, but remember, they didn't get any points out of it. Now they find themselves in 2nd and 22, and there goes Pickett down, courtesy Jerome McDougal.
McDougal is the quickest of all of them. Here he is right here, McDougal. That's backwards 72 trying to slide out to pick up the protection, and McDougal just says, I'm not having any of it. I'm going to ride around you.
McDougal, whose brother played for Oklahoma and then the Detroit Lions. Stocker was his brother. And that's his 4th sack now of the year.
Miami came into the game with 30 sacks on the year.
They've got to get all the way out to the 48-yard line for a first down. Pickett, and he's going to throw deep down the middle to his tight end, and was almost intercepted by Ed Reed. It hit him right between the 2 and the 0, and that would have been career interception number 20 for him.
Here's Reed up here. The tight end's just going to go straight up the field.
Oh boy.
That one he should have had, and he knows it.
Punting time for Washington, and as Bob said, the punter, a true freshman's had his troubles this year. He's had 5 blocked. Derek McLaughlin. He's standing at his own 5-yard line. He gets this one away. Not a great kick. Buchanan will have to let it bounce in front of him, though, and stay out of the way. It's going to be great field position anyway for Miami at the Canes' 47-yard line. Miami leading 7-0 with 4:31 to go first quarter.
Hey, looks like it's going to be a great race.
Yeah, I guess.
You're new around here, huh?
Yeah.
Well, good luck.
It goes like this. And I face my ride. I take it to the top. Cause I want it. You need it. This will not be tonight. When I take a little time, then I'm never gonna stop.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
Good race. Thanks.
Make it a Bud Light.
Wow. MP3 player, digital camera, DVD player. Very nice. Looks like somebody's kids are going to be very happy this holiday.
Kids. I'll be right.
We know how you feel, and that's why Circuit City has great gift ideas this holiday season. Circuit City, we're with you.
Hey, my wife loves these things. All wives love things.
Could you...
Behold the legendary Lord of the Rings. Behold Gandalf the Wizard. Behold Frodo the Hobbit. And now they're not just to behold, they're to be held. Now at Burger King, when you behold and buy a Whopper value meal, even when you hold the pickles, get a magical Lord of the Rings light-up glass goblet, just $1.99 each. Collect all 4 and behold Strider the Ranger and Arwen the Elf. They're all yours to have and to hold. The adventure begins here.
He holds the key to a doorway she never imagined would lead to her own past.
How did you know my name?
A new alias, ABC Sunday.
Our Pacific Life game summary. The biggest play of the ball game came early. Opening drive, Pickett back to throw and found Jonathan Vilma, the middle linebacker for Miami. John took it back to the 13. 2 plays later, Clinton Portis, 7-yard touchdown. Miami led 7-0. The Huskies were threatening, and on 4th and goal, Pickett stepped on by his center, went down. Miami took over on downs.
That was a critical play, because if Washington could have got on the board, they would have done a lot for their confidence.
Time of possession not doing them any good, down 7-0 right now. Here's Portis, and Portis breaks into the open. Couldn't keep his balance, or who knows.
He is so quick. He is patient, and then he is quick getting through the hole. He's running behind the right side of that line, Bibla and Gonzalez, and just jumps through the crack right there, and then the speed just can't keep his balance.
21 yards for Portis, and that means 8 yards from 1,000. Washington jumped and got back. Dorsey comes up firing, flags down. Beard makes the catch, but again, a penalty marker at the line of scrimmage. See if they didn't have enough guys on the line of scrimmage. Larry Triplett's a defensive captain. Illegal procedure against Miami. Larry Coker 9-0 in year 1 as a head coach. Not bad.
And Larry Coker knows he's in a special situation. And he admitted that, hey, what I'm doing is nothing special. He says there's a lot of guys that could have stepped into this situation and done the same thing. Well, I think that's being a bit.
That's being too humble. I think.
That's being too humble. He was the player's choice. They wanted him, and they got him, and they got the good results.
And again, the cadence draws Washington in. This is a free play for Dorsey. He goes complete inside the 35 to Shockey, his tight end. We saw Ken Dorsey do that, I think, 3 times last week against Syracuse. You know, he's done it a couple of times here early.
It's a great weapon for a quarterback. It's not the first one. It's not the first weapon that a quarterback learns. But after you've learned some of the other things that you need to know, like reading and looking off and pocket awareness, if you can pick up that cadence and control the line of scrimmage, it's just another tool.
We saw him in practice yesterday doing it pretty effectively with his own teammates just to kind of rehearse it. And he's helped it out today.
That's for sure. You have to do it with your own teammates, your own line, especially so they get to know how your cadence goes.
That's one of the last things they did in their walkthrough yesterday.
Oh, yeah. You know, I used to try, and you try to pull your own guys off.
Right. If you can do them, you can do anybody.
Exactly.
2nd down and 3. Jones in motion toward the ball. It's a give to Portis. And he's got a first down run, and he's got a 1,000-yard season. Becoming the 5th Hurricane back to reach that plateau, and he's just getting warmed up here in the first quarter.
For the offensive line, McKinney is 78. This is a little sprint draw or a little draw action. Romberg is the center. Wilkins is in there for Haji Razuli. And when Portis comes out, there is no relief going in because the true freshman, Frank Gore, who has just been outstanding.
Well, our congratulations to Portis for a 1,000-yard campaign. A lot more football left. Ajay Davenport, the single setback here. They play fake it to him, and Dorsey comes up slinging it. It's intercepted. Not a good throw off his back foot, and Owen Biddle, the safety, was back there to retrieve it.
We're talking with Tim Hundley, the defensive coordinator. What are you going to do against Dorsey? He said, well, we're going to need to put some pressure on him, disguise, give him some different looks, and hope that he makes some mistakes. I don't know which guy he was throwing this ball to.
I think he sailed it over Shockey. At least that's what it looked like.
It looked like to me like it was going to Shockey. There the pressure was. The pressure was coming from the outside, and he couldn't wait to take a look, and he just threw it.
So Washington takes over as they pick up a turnover, and they work from their own 9-yard line. Willie Hurst to the 10. That's it. It'll be 2nd down and 9 coming up. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Bud Light, the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Make it a Bud Light. Your Morgan Stanley financial advisor who will never let you lose sight of what you're investing for. And Circuit City, we know how you feel. That's why we're here. Circuit City, we're with you. Brad Nesler, Bob Griese, Lynn Swan, and our ABC crew on a gorgeous 75-degree Miami night. And the Hurricanes lead by 7 in the first quarter. Draw play, and that goes nowhere. Hurst is dumped by Will Fork. Have Fork will travel. And you bet Vince put a dent in a turkey the other day.
This kid.
He's going to be something, isn't he?
Right here. He's a true freshman. Watch him as he's just going to run over. That's Zajac, the guard. He rotates with those other 2 defensive tackles, and those other 2 tackles are pretty darn good. And this kid is really going to be special.
Shades of Warren Sapp, that you and I were talking about. There's a lot of guys that could be, but when we watched him after practice yesterday, he kind of gives you a little bit of that. From the 4 now. Here's a quick opener, and Hurst a nice run. And Willie Hurst gets out with a flag down, back out to the 14-yard line. Our referee's mic is not working, I don't think, Jack Kramer. They're going to call delay a game, so they whistle that one before it really got started. Negates a nice run by Hurst that would have gotten them some breathing room. And as Bob said, playing with that broken finger on the left hand, can't be easy to hold on to the ball. We saw him make a sensational catch on their first drive, and there's the numbers for Willie this year. And now the noise in that end zone, no doubt, will have an effect a little bit on Washington's offense.
Right there is their outstanding receiver, the freshman. 19 plays for Washington, not one to their leading receiver.
He's in tight against Buchanan down there. They'll keep it on the ground, though, and get out to about the 10, maybe the 11-yard line. Al Marshall made the stop. And now a little shoving going on after the play. I like our umpire. He's good sized. He got everybody out of the way there. Good job.
Well, this is a critical situation right here. In the opening, we told you, Washington has had 5 punts blocked. Miami has run back 8 punts in the last 2 years for touchdowns.
Remember, he kicked from about his own 5 last time, and they got a little bit of pressure on him. Now he's in his end zone. That's Derek McLaughlin we're talking about, the freshman kicker. And again, not a long kick, and Buchanan's got a shot at it, but he has to dive forward to make the catch at the 41. So a 32-yard punt. Buchanan gets it to the 41-yard line. We go to Times Square Stadium in New York. We're going to wait and see about the flag.
Brad?
So we'll check in with John after we check the penalty. It is holding. And they're going to have to
It's a tough situation.
do it again.
Here. Tough decision here because you got great field position.
Yeah, that's right. There you go. Good call, partner.
Yeah.
They decline it. They'll take it right there. Larry says we're not going to do much better than the 41-yard line, I don't think.
Yeah. Even if you are good at running punts back. Rick said that punt team, he said, we have all kinds of coaches coaching it this week. He says, we've had 5 punts blocked all year, and it's not because we haven't given it enough attention.
So Miami sets up shop at the Husky 41 here in the final 36 seconds of the first quarter. They lead by a touchdown. Porter's 7-yard gallop earlier. Play action. Dorsey zips it outside. Nice catch. Andre Johnson. And he tiptoes out of bounds right near the 30-yard line. Reminder, at the conclusion of our game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund.
Miami has been the beneficiary of great field position. Twice they've been inside the 50-yard line. Once they scored, this time they're on the drive.
There it is. You'll take that any day.
Oh, boy.
Davenport, the fullback, is the single setback. Najee is going to get the call. And only got back to the line of scrimmage. Ty Ellis made the tackle. Davenport, one of the senior offensive captains. One of 14 seniors playing their final game on this field tonight. Najee in grad school already with a theater degree. And there's the guys, the seniors, and their numbers that ring the stadium. And the first quarter comes down to a close. So they will be moving into that wind you see on that flag as the second quarter is upon us. We've played one. 7-0 Miami, the leader. ABC Sports presentation of college football will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Hey, you want to switch? Sure.
Introducing the all-new Chevy Avalanche. The only vehicle that switches from an SUV to a pickup.
Good idea.
Chevy Avalanche. like a rock.
Woods, Montgomery, Parnevik, Norman, a friendly foursome where the stakes are high but the mood is loose. The Skins game, the back nine tomorrow on ABC.
Wednesday. Drew and Mimi take their rivalry to the streets with champion NASCAR driver Jeff Gordon. The Drew Carey Show, Wednesday on ABC.
Tonight after the game, new information about a local home filled with explosives. Plus, as thousands prepare to return home, they'll tell you what's being done to keep you safe on the road.
Giving you early warning when severe weather threatens. Local coverage that sets Channel 9 Eyewitness News apart. Early Warning 9 weather technology predicts and tracks severe storms with pinpoint accuracy, right down to the street where you live. And the Early Warning 9 forecast team has the experience you can count on to keep you safe and informed when dangerous weather threatens our area. Channel 9 Eyewitness News and the Early Warning 9 forecast team. Severe weather coverage you can count on.
You've done an incredible job. You're one of my top salesmen. I didn't promote you this time because, well, I didn't want you to miss out on valuable growth experience. And besides, you're going to love working for my son, Carl. Carl!
Want a new job? The new Career Builder section in Sunday's Orlando Sentinel has thousands of jobs, career advice, and more at OrlandoSentinel.com. Sentinel Classifieds, in print, online, anytime.
Dude, fill me up!
New information about a local home filled with explosives. Details after the game.
John Saunders in New York with the Burger King update. Notre Dame against Stanford. Carlisle Holiday, 47 yards to Omar Jenkins. Keep this in mind. If the Irish win today, then next week against Purdue, they will be bowl eligible. Not much of a consolation, but they can play. 7-3.
Nothing. Miami here as we start the second quarter. And the Hurricanes have it at the Huskies' 30-yard line. Second down at 10. Beard in motion. It's a draw play. And it's Portis. And he's in the open field, and he's gone. Touchdown, Miami. 30 yards for Portis. His second touchdown of the night.
He's a road runner, this big offensive line. Probably one of the best in the country. Probably is the best in the country. Look at the speed now. He just sees the opening and just runs away from Biddle, the free safety.
There was no angle to be had when he turned on the Jets, and Seaver's extra point is good. As is the case usually with the Canes' quick scoring drives. Their first one was 2 plays and 13 yards. This one was 3 plays and 41 yards.
Bob, what I really like about Portis, the way he runs, is not just his speed and his quick, but it's also the fact he is a smart runner. Every time he's run the ball tonight, we don't see a lack of patience. He waits for the hole to open up. Then when he sees it, then he hits a burst of speed. He's a very intelligent runner.
Our Dodge drive summary. There's what I was talking about. 43 seconds, so they have 2 touchdown drives and still haven't had the ball a minute to get those 2 touchdowns.
Well, that's because they started on the Washington 13-yard line for their first touchdown, and then they started on the 41-yard line going in after that short punt for that touchdown.
So when you look at Miami's time of possession, it means very little. They are under 29 minutes a game as time of possession, but their average scoring drives between 2 and 2.5 minutes. And who will they play? Well, they still got a lot of football left here, and then they go to Blacksburg next Saturday afternoon, and we'll be there to bring you that one. But first things first, it's the Huskies on their menu right now. 14-0 Miami. Brock Alexander and Charles Frederick are deep. And
ball fell off.
Ball fell off just before Todd got there.
That's pretty good.
And he almost pulled something there.
That's like the old Snoopy. Hey.
Okay.
You guys running downfield? What are you running downfield for?
We got to get Linus to hold that thing down there.
Kicked it yet.
So we'll try it again.
He's laughing.
Miami has not allowed a point at home after the first quarter. And we're 7 seconds into the second quarter. Washington obviously hasn't scored yet, though they had one good-looking drive end at the 6-yard line. That's how good Miami's defense has been on their home turf. This time Todd gets all of it. Man, did he ever. Knocked it out of the end zone again.
Is that, you know, we talk about how good Dorsey is and their offensive line and their receivers.
It's nice to have a good
and their
kicker
defensive back. Yeah, but then they got the special teams with their kicker and their punter, and then the punt return guy, Buchanan. This team seems to have it all.
3 kickoffs, 3 touchbacks. Next Saturday, we talked about it. Big East Showdown, #2 Miami and Virginia Tech in Blacksburg at 4:30 Eastern. One of the biggest college football rivalries is Oregon State and Oregon. Some of you'll see Notre Dame and Purdue. And the Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship game is surprise, surprise, Colorado, Texas.
Boy, was that a surprise.
Oh, boy. Pickett, he completes it to his big tight end, Jeremy Stevens, and I mean big, 6'7", 260.
Stevens has missed most of the season with a broken foot. Number 14, 6'7", about 265, does a little out and back in. Campbell, the linebacker, trying to cover it.
And trying to bring him down. That's a load. It's like trying to tackle a tackle.
He's only caught 8 passes on the year coming in. He missed 6 of the ball games. They need him.
They're trying to get another first down here. Here's a counter. Alexis trying to weave his way through Hurricane defenders, and he's going to lose a little bit.
Well, those counters don't work well against Miami's style of defense, and that is their defense is across the line and upfield, and if you fake one way and go back, you're just giving them time to get into the backfield.
The Budweiser.com airship flying over Miami tonight to provide our football fans with these spectacular aerial shots. This Bud's for you. That's a big Bud. That's a case and a half up there. And it's Washington thirsty for a first down. They empty the backfield on 3rd and 3. And there's a loose ball. Pickett picks it up. Has the presence of mind to do something with it and gets a first down. Could have been a disaster. Instead, he got it to Alexis. And it's a first down, Washington.
That's good presence of mind. That's exactly right, Brad. Well, how often does that ever happen?
He scrambled back into that pocket behind his center just to get this thing.
Yeah, just squirted out of his hands. Now that ball could be slippery, could be wet, sweat could be dropping down on it. The receiver does a nice job of working back to the inside and making the catch.
It was Kevin Ware, the tight end. Cody Pickett, 1 interception. That by Jonathan Vilma. Pickett to throw again. First down toss is not going to happen. Flags down to boot. He was sacked, and it's probably a holding call. Andrew Williams is there. So is Jamal Green. There's the other shocking score from today, as you see the holding call as well. Oklahoma beaten by Oklahoma State. Ohio State upset Michigan. Pitt and West Virginia, annual battle when they get together. And the other scores from around the country.
It's another surprise. Illinois wins the Big Ten. And for the first time in 55 years, they don't get to go to the Rose Bowl,
yeah.
the Big Ten champion.
So our congratulations to the Illini. Coach Turner's done a nice job there. At the 34-yard line, it's 2nd down and 14. Still, they have not thrown a ball to their top receiver. And now they do, and he's got it. And he's just a little bit short of a first down, I think. There's Reggie Williams.
He's a true freshman. True freshman, came in with 49 receptions. Beats the jam of Buchanan. This has been an interesting matchup all game. How Reggie Williams, a true freshman and their leading receiver, does against these experienced corners in this defensive secondary for Miami.
Most people feel that he'll end up becoming the best Washington high school product to ever wear a Husky uniform as a wide receiver, as Pickett tries to get the first down on a quarterback sneak and may have gotten it. It was 3rd down and less than a yard as they unpile bodies. But Williams is a local product, Tacoma, Washington. Interesting how Rick Neuheisel, one of the many coaches, of course, that were trying to recruit him, a highly touted wide receiver. And Rick flew him in on a plane, a seaplane, to land right in Rick's front yard out there on Lake Washington. That was a pretty impressive performance, I'm sure. And then Rick's wife had made fresh-baked cookies. We told him on the phone they must have been good cookies. First down. Play action, and Pickett goes over the middle. It's intercepted by Campbell, the other linebacker. He's thrown 2 to the wrong color jerseys. Both are linebackers.
I don't think he even saw Campbell. He was scrambling and looking downfield. Never even saw it.
Chris Campbell's first interception of the year.
And Vilma's first interception earlier. So the 2 linebackers. Here's Campbell right here. Watch him as he's going to drop back. Tries to throw to our left side. Now he comes back. And here he is right here. He's trying to get the ball to this receiver. Campbell picks it off. Never saw it.
So they take over the great field position again. They go for the quick strike here. They'll do an end around, a double reverse. Andre Johnson with his quarterback in front of him who got a block. And they get it down inside the 25-yard line. 13-yard double reverse.
Now that is a true double reverse. Because it started off to the left, came back to the right, went back to the left, and then back again. It went back and forth so many times I got dizzy. That's Ethnic Sands, number 7. Going to give it to him. He gives it back to Johnson.
Watch his block by Dorsey coming up. Right there.
Quarterbacks throwing their bodies.
Took out Josh Miller, the defensive end, too. He didn't pick on a little guy. At the 25, first down. Portis met in the hole after about a yard gain. And we check in Times Square Stadium in New York again. John Saunders. John.
Brad, as we mentioned before, the Irish hoping to get to a bowl game, but they have to beat Stanford and Purdue. And here Julius Jones takes off 59 yards. Looks like he has a touchdown, but they get him marked down at the 7-yard line. They can't get the touchdown, sets up for a field goal, and the Irish now lead by a touchdown. Brad.
All right, John, thanks here. We've got 10:50 left in the half, and it's Miami by 2 touchdowns. Threatening again at the 24-yard line of the Huskies. Play action. Dorsey sets, fires, got his man. Jones out of bounds at the 5. It's first and goal. 19-yard strike to Darryl Jones.
Darryl Jones has been out a few games with different injuries, knee problems, foot problems. He's a senior, going to be graduating. Darryl Jones is the leader of this wide receiver group. He is the slot receiver, just runs it down and out. The outside receiver clears. That's easy picking there.
He hurt his ankle in that Florida State game we did, and then Beard took over his starting spot for a couple of games. But back to full speed, and with him, that's a lot of speed. First and goal at the 5. Portis has already scored 2 touchdowns on the ground. They're going to throw a fade to the corner. Johnson hit him in the helmet.
That was too easy.
I don't know if Andre lost that baby in the lights or if he just lost his balance a little bit. Looked like he was going to score a touchdown, and I think it hit him right in the face mask.
I know one thing for sure. He fooled Massey. Massey, he didn't know where it was going.
And I'm sure he didn't lose that one in the lights, but he will be more disappointed than anyone else because he is the hardest working receiver on this football team.
Boy, is he ever.
That happens.
He did stumble just a little bit, and that took him off his stride, and it hit him right in the cage.
You know, all the great ones drop balls, all the good fumble footballs, throw bad passes. You know, that all happens. I just don't like to see it happen on national television.
Dorsey going to throw back the other way and try to go on a swing pass to Portis out of the backfield. It was low and incomplete. And that will bring up third and goal now.
And Bob, good receivers also have one other thing going for them when they drop a pass in the big ball game. It's called selective amnesia.
That's very important. That's very important. You got to be able to forget. You got to be able to remember quickly and forget quickly.
Now Washington changes up its defensive grouping. It's third and goal at the 5. Sands and Johnson out to the left and Jones in tight. The 3 wide receivers. And now Jones will move toward the ball. Dorsey crossing pattern, touchdown. And it's Portis. That's his third of the night. Kenny Dorsey's 20th touchdown pass of the year. Sievers in for the point after. And he's got it. It's the Clinton Portis night. Dorsey with a touchdown pass across the middle. Snuck him out of the backfield in that 3 wide receiver grouping. And a penalty marker on the extra points. Juan Gonzalez, one of the offensive stars, captain. Personal foul against the Huskies. And that means Miami's going to have a great place to kick off from. Doesn't change the touchdown. It has no effect on the game except the kickoff will be in Miami's favor. So's everything else right now. Back of the Orange Bowl in Miami, our Thanksgiving feast presented by Siemens, and right now Miami is munching on Washington 21-0 with 10:23 to go in the second quarter. As Clinton Portis has scored twice on the ground, once on a pass moments ago from Ken Dorsey. And that's the scoring so far. 2 turnovers. Those have turned into points. 3 drives that started in Washington territory.
Yeah.
All 3 resulted in touchdowns. The longest drive they've had was the one we just saw, 38 yards.
Yeah.
Sievers will kick off from the 50 now because of that penalty on the extra point. And this one goes to the goal line. It's returnable. I don't know if it was a good choice. I don't think so.
Not a good choice. They pooched it, which was a good idea because you could kick it out of the end zone easily.
Sean Taylor.
Washington should have said, just kick it out. We want it to go out. We'll get out to the 20.
Charles Frederick, who is a local product here, number 10. He played high school ball in the same high school as Alexis. Maybe wanted to try to do something too much on his hometown turf, and Sean Taylor dropped him at about the 4-yard line. Second time Washington's had to start inside its own 10. When you're down 21, you don't want that shadow of that goalpost up your back. Alexis stopped at about the line of scrimmage.
Let's go back to the touchdown. Look what attracts attention from the defense. These 2 receivers out here and this guy in motion right here. But it's the back coming out of the backfield that's going to catch the touchdown. Everybody attracts attention, but it's Portis sneaking out of the backfield. Tight ends and backs inside the 10-yard line are great receivers down inside.
For Portis, by the way, that's his first touchdown catch of the year. Second down 9, and Miami jumps in, it appears. Looked like Santonio Thomas, the defensive tackle, fell into the neutral zone. We'll wait and see as the officials clear it up. Well, they're going to call legal procedure on Washington, so I take it back, Santonio. You weren't offside. You were drawn offside. And that'll take it halfway to the goal line. Our Aflac trivia question this week. Who was the last coach to go undefeated in his first season ever? We'll give you the answer a little bit later on. Second down and 11. Pickett in the end zone. And he got it complete out to Arnold. That's the second time Cody Pickett's bought himself some time and found a receiver out there. Let's check in with Swanee right now.
Thank you. I'm with Dr. Donna Shalala, the president of Miami. Doctor, at Wisconsin, you fostered a great environment for sports there. Miami, you have an outstanding program here. What's the relationship that sports has in the college community?
Well, it has to be an integral part of the university. That's the most important thing. It's important that I know the coaches, that they have direct access to what happens to student athletes. They're students first, and the coaches know that I'm going to hold them to high standards.
One more question. We'll take it after this play.
Yeah, go ahead, Lynn.
Doctor, a number of people thought when they were looking for a head coach here in Miami that you were going to hire Valerie Alvarez because you had a good relationship with him. What was the real story?
Well, here's the real story. obviously we were looking for a coach. Barry indicated that he had some interest. He talked to our athletic director. Our athletic director talked to Pat Richter. It wasn't to be. He didn't end up being a candidate for the job. I think we picked an outstanding coach, and that Larry Coker has done a wonderful job for the University of Miami.
We have to agree with you. Thank you very much.
There's the problems they've had with a punting team all year, and it just jumped up and bit him again. Kellen Winslow covers the punter McLaughlin in the end zone.
It's a bad snap.
Yep. He tried to go down and get it. He just couldn't handle it.
Bad snap to a true freshman punter in the end zone on the road. Miami now has 23 points, and it all came from their defense and their special teams. Of course, the offense got it in, but they were all set up by defense and special teams. His daddy played pretty well on this field a few years back.
That's
too.
Right. One of the great games ever in NFL history.
Yeah.
He's going to be a good one, as he's a little bit wide receiver and a little bit tight end, and so is Dad. And Kellen just got another 2 points for Miami.
He's not getting an opportunity to play a lot on the offense because of all the wide receivers, but he's on the special teams, the kicking teams. They want athletes. That snap is low. Hart was the snapper. And that's 2 more points for Miami.
23-0 Canes. They don't need any help, and when you help them, it just gets worse. McLaughlin will have the free kick coming up from the 20.
But when you start seeing all the upsets happening around the country that we've seen, like Michigan getting beat, Oklahoma today, Nebraska yesterday, when you look at Miami and we see Miami, you know, it's like Oklahoma last year and Heupel. I mean, everybody gave their offense all the attention, and the Heisman Trophy candidate, but it was their defense and their special teams that was the underbelly of that team. The offense just didn't make any mistakes, and same here with Miami.
Buchanan fields this on the bounce at the 25. He is dangerous. Phil Buchanan's got a little crease. Cuts back to the middle of the field. Buchanan still on his feet, looking for blockers. Inside the 20, down to the 15. What a run back.
Got a great knack of running the football.
That might be your Mosi Tatupu winner right there for special teams. 60-yard punt return.
He's returned 2 punts for touchdowns already this year. He is second in the nation in punt returns, and he just has an easy step. He lets his blockers do their thing, and he reacts from that.
I stand corrected. It's a kickoff return to the 15-yard line. Pat McGrath straightening me out over here.
He'll keep you straight.
Yeah, he will. First down at the 15. Gore in the backfield. Dorsey drops, throws, touchdown. Davenport, 15 yards. Got enough ammo for that cannon. Looks like we're in for another long night. As Syracuse was last week, Washington falling in line here. It's about to be 30-0, and it is. You go for the quick strike after the big play. Kenny Dorsey with all kinds of time. His senior fullback with the touchdown.
Go back to the touchdown. 2 wide receivers, three defensive backs, but over here is the tight end Shockey. Everybody wants to cover him, but it's the back that sneaks out of the backfield, Davenport, and runs the little swing route. Everybody wants to cover Shockey. Caught 2 touchdown passes last week. Davenport, who was a running back right here in Miami, catches his 2nd touchdown pass of the year.
There's Najee. And isn't it something that last week it was 2 to the wide routes, 2 to the tight ends. Tonight it's 2 to the running back.
Well, just spreading it around. Yep. I mean, that's a balanced offense.
15 of the plays of Miami's 19, as you saw it come in Husky territory. That sure helps the cause. Alexander from the 5 on the kick return, and he's not going to make the 20. Ken Dorsey now has thrown 2 more touchdown passes tonight, 21 for the season. The career, he just keeps adding to the mark as he passed Steve Walsh and Vinny and Gino Torretta and company. And he says, you know, what's more important maybe to me is how much those guys mean to me, and that some of my friends said Steve Walsh especially has helped him, and said it means that much when you got guys like that that have been in the record books, and then all of a sudden you find your name atop the list. And this kid realizes he's got it pretty good. He's got one of the best offensive lines. He's got great receivers, a great tight end, backs that can run the football, an offense, but he still works at it. He gets in there and he studies. He doesn't take anything for granted. Pickett going to loft it out to Hurst. That almost could have been another interception, but Campbell had his sights set on taking Hurst down and didn't take the ricochet. Incomplete. Campbell's already intercepted one. Jonathan Vilma intercepted one. And this one was up for grabs, and he didn't quite know it. McDougal on the pass rush. Campbell playing his last game here in the Orange Bowl. And he's been all over the place. Senior out of Mount Pleasant, Texas. So 7:39 remaining in the second quarter. A 30-0 shutout right now. They had one good drive. This pass is tipped and it's intercepted. McDougal, the defensive end, and he's going to score. Touchdown, Miami. I'm sure the penalty is excessive celebration. I'm not sure Miami cares right now. Joseph got the tip that caused the interception. Remember, we've got 3 interceptions, none of them by a defensive back yet.
Touchdown is good. Unsportsmanlike conduct against the scoring team. 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the try.
There's the big fella. One defensive lineman bats it, the other one runs it in.
I know they have that penalty in the create or the cut down on the excessive taunting and things like that, but McDougal deserves to show some excitement and express himself. How often does a defensive lineman pick off a pass, a deflection, and get into the end zone? I agree with you, Lynn. Especially on a dive like that. And you're diving that big body over the goal line, and you may never get another chance to do it. Extra point is good, and we get another look. This is supposed to be a screen pass. Tries to dump it out to the outside. Joseph knocks it. McDougal is aware of what's going on. This is the 23rd non-offensive touchdown in the last 22 games for Miami. Watch now. Jerome head to pay dirt. Here we go. Larry Coker's team is up 37-0. They score on offense, they score on defense, and they score with special teams. They're doing this on the number 11 team in the country. There's what Bob was talking about. Juan Gonzalez, and he's leading the cheers down there. He is giving a speech. He's standing on the bench. The rest of the team is around him. You think that's not a fired up senior? He's a 4-year starter from right here in high school, right here in Miami. Went to Columbus High School. A lot of these Hurricane players are from South Florida. Gonzalez, a walk-on, earned a scholarship. Could have gone to Ivy League schools scholastically. He's a character. He's a fun guy to be around. Yeah, he was. We talked to him during the week. Going to bring the kick out. Alexander weaves his way across the 20. Ends up being a good run back. And Washington goes to work with a little better field position than they've had the last couple of times. Our Aflac trivia question: who was the last coach to go undefeated in his first season ever as a head coach? Gave you time to think about it. It's in this state. We'll give you that hint. Galen Hall, the Florida Gators in '84. And don't you know Steve Spurrier is watching this game tonight and knows what happened to
his old buddy Bob Stoops today. Miami and Florida will probably be 1 and 2 in the BCS polls come Monday. And oh man, still a lot of work to be done as Hurst breaks out. And Willie's still on his feet out across the 40 to about the 41-yard line, a 19-yard run. But if you start to think now, if Miami wins this and goes to Blacksburg to win, and if Florida beats Tennessee and then wins the SEC championship, what's that set up?
It sets up a match, a rematch.
It would set up a rematch of the Sugar Bowl from last year, only it'd be for the big one. First down out at the 41-yard line. Pickett, he's been getting pressured all day, runs out of there and got across the 45, picked up about 5 on the scramble.
Of course, Florida has 2 big games left at home next week against Tennessee, and then the SEC championship game against either Auburn or LSU. Miami has to go next week to Virginia Tech, and that's not a gimme.
Nope.
They have lost 5 of the last 6 games to Virginia Tech, and the last 3 trips to Blacksburg has been losing trips for Miami.
The backfield emptied again. Pickett throws complete. It's going to be short of a first down, though. It's out at about the 49-yard line. But we were talking about the BCS as the weekend began, or the Thanksgiving holiday began, I guess we should say. And Nebraska was alone on top, but we know what happened to them at the hands of Colorado. Miami in this one here, obviously, and Oklahoma State upset Oklahoma today, so that's what we were talking about. Texas is going to move up as well. They beat Texas A&M. They're in the Big 12 championship. Tennessee would like to be the East representative in the SEC if they could beat Florida. Illinois won the Big 10, and on down the list it goes. So, you know, Monday's going to be a pretty important day.
As we've been saying for weeks,
you got to play them.
There's a lot of games left to be played.
At midfield, 3rd and 2. Hurst, he's got the first. And Willie's down to the 46-yard line, picked up 5. James Lewis and John Vilma made the tackle. Willie Hurst, one of the captains, running hard. Notre Dame still leading Stanford. And we've got 5 minutes and 5 seconds remaining in our first half here. Sold out Orange Bowl in Miami. And right now, all Miami. And again, a quick opener. And Hurst, there's no quitting him. Flags fly near the end of the play, yet back by the line of scrimmage. Flag came basically as the play was ending. Maybe he had trouble getting out of his pocket because that happened way before the flag came out, and it's holding, and it negates a nice run by Hurst. A look down at a Orange Bowl, beautiful night, about 75 degrees at kickoff.
And a full house for the Miami Hurricanes. University of Washington bringing out the best in the Hurricane fans.
Well, I guess. We welcome all of those of you that might be watching in cold weather, and we're sorry. It's really nice out here tonight.
a lot of bad weather through the Midwest.
Yeah.
A lot of rainy games.
Alexis back in there, tailback now. It's 1st and 18 after they walk off the penalty. Cody Pickett has some time this time and throws a strike. Nice pass. He got it to Williams. He picked up 17 of the 18 they needed to move the sticks again, so it's 2nd down and about a yard.
Number 1, Williams is their leading receiver, as we mentioned. He's getting a lot of attention. Caught 11 passes for over 200 yards last week in their win against Washington State.
He was the Pac-10 Player of the Week for those numbers. Career high 203-yard day. They've thrown it at him twice. He's caught them both tonight. Now back to the ground they go, but they don't get the first down, I don't think. It'll be close. And maybe they gave him a good spot. They might have. Alexis was the ball carrier. DJ Williams brought him down. And let's see where they put it finally. He got his foot right on that marker. Well, I'm starting to think maybe he didn't get it now. I'll go back to my original thought.
Pickett is 9 of 16 for 89 yards with the 3 interceptions. This Miami defense is tough on opposing quarterbacks.
He's short.
Yep. Opposing quarterbacks for the University of Miami defense have only completed 45% of their passes. 5 touchdown passes and 20 interceptions against this defense.
What a ratio that is. So it's still not quite a yard short, more like a foot. And third down coming up. 2 tight end set. And Hurst, the tailback. He gets the call. Boy, he had to fight, but he broke free and he got the first down. Lewis finally stopped him. He ran into Chris Campbell and kept on going. And no quitting Willie Hurst, even though his team's down 37-0.
Well, this is a tough kid right here. Gets hit in the backfield and just keeps going.
Guys, I talked to John Pettis, who's a graduate assistant here. Actually, he was the offensive coordinator at Arizona State. He coaches a wide receiver. He says the one thing we haven't done enough, throw the ball deep to Williams once we get close to the end zone. Take advantage of his height.
He's in the slot to the left right now, and Pickett goes back across the middle to his tight end, and it's broken up.
You can't throw it any better than that.
Stevens had his hands on it, but Lewis, the safety, got over there and popped it out.
We mentioned Stevens missed a lot of games, 6 games. Came in with 8 receptions. You can't throw this with a handle on it.
Campbell had good coverage on the drop from linebacker, and then Lewis came over there. And Lewis, I don't know if he pulled something making that play. He comes out limping. And they have Fitzgerald back in there in the secondary now. 2nd down and 10. This is the 10th play of the Washington drive. Pickett. And again, trying to go across the middle to a tight end, this time Ware, and Ware can't hold it.
Ware on the right side of your screen. Pickett gets a nice alley to look through. Just having to, everybody's dropping the balls on him.
That's 3 drops.
Needs some help. Miami's been scoring quickly. Washington had a long drive and didn't get it in.
Now they've got 3rd and 10. And Wilfork comes across and lets the lineman have it, and everybody's pointing fingers. I think the umpire says this one is going against Washington.
Quiet at the snap. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still
So
3rd down.
Wilfork got his shot in, and 5 yards going the other way.
There's Wilfork right there, number 75. Yep.
Yep.
Zajac moved just a little bit.
Bob and Brad, Miami doesn't give away injury information to us on the sideline, but James Lewis got to the sideline and working on his left knee, and he was in severe pain.
All right, Swanee, thanks. We'll keep a lookout on that. He's a good one back there in the secondary. They'll miss him. Pickett scrambles. Now has some green in front of him. Got to get by Buchanan, though, and he can't. Buchanan holds his ground and makes the stop. And it's 4th down.
You know, at the beginning of the year, Buchanan was like the 3rd or 4th guy that anybody talked about in that Miami secondary. They'd talk about Reed and Lewis and Rumpf. And now that's the first thing out of anybody's mouth is the play of this kid, Philip Buchanan.
They're going to try a long kick. Pickett to hold. John Anderson to try a 52-yard field goal. And the kick on the way. And it hit the upright and goes off to the right. He had enough leg on it. That's the kind of night it's been so far for the Huskies, I guess.
He's another one of those kids from Pope John Paul up in Boca Raton.
Thought he had it. Missed it by that much. Still 37-0.
Hey, Stan, remember that time we went hiking and you found that baby golden retriever?
Oh, yeah. Hey, little guy.
Didn't that dog have rabies?
That's right. Did, didn't it?
Golden retrievers sure are cute when they're little, aren't they? I wonder whatever happened to that dog.
I still have him.
Americans have places to go, things to do, so they go Midas. Alignment, we do that. Air conditioning, we do that. Brakes, we do that. So for total car care by certified technicians, who does it all? Midas, we do that.
How can you provide for the future of the people who depend on you? With Pacific Life and its expertise in investments, annuities, and insurance, discover the power of Pacific Life.
Salmon have to overcome incredible odds to survive. Sometimes people can help. I led a research project on flow rates in a local stream. Working with research assistants from psychology and English opened my eyes to the complex relationship between science and public policy. Now, when I work with school kids at the UW hatchery, I tell them the whole story of salmon, forests, streams, and human habitation. Future generations, salmon, and people will benefit from our research.
ABC Sports Thanksgiving Feast is presented by Siemens, Siemens Global Network of Innovation.
Looking in on the Orange Bowl, our Pacific Life game summary. All the mistakes have led to touchdowns. Pickett's 3 interceptions, one directly by McDougal into the end zone. The other ones led to Portis scores. Kenny Dorsey hasn't had to work too much. Thrown 11 passes, 2 of them touchdowns. Clinton Portis has scored 3 times, twice on the ground, once on a reception from Dorsey, and has gone over the 1,000-yard mark for the season. All in all, Miami, their time of possession, get a load of this, 5 minutes and 44 seconds, and they lead 37-0.
Well, it's been that kind of day. Turnovers, and then the special teams, the kicking game of Washington, bad snap in the end zone gave them a safety.
And then a 60-yard free kick return by Buchanan set up shop for a touchdown. At the 35, first down. And here comes Gore. Gore, the freshman, out across midfield down to the 49-yard line. Now you take out Portis, you put this guy in, he rumbles for 16 yards.
Yep. He's a true freshman. Portis is just a junior. The good news for a lot of their opponents next year is they do lose 3 huge offensive linemen.
And they'll all be playing in the National Football League.
Yes, they will.
First down at the 49. And Dorsey working from the gun for the first time tonight. Ken throws, that's kind of a rarity. Shockey had it go through his hands, incomplete. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Dodge. You can take it as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. Prudential Financial, a rock-solid leader in financial services. Prudential Financial to help you grow and protect your wealth. And Beechwood Aged Budweiser with a crisp, clean, and refreshing taste known only to the king of beers. Second down at 10. Here's a little counter. Portis back in there, wraps both arms around the football and bulls his way near the 42-yard line.
I mentioned, excuse me, Brad, I mentioned this is a balanced offensive attack for Miami. You think with all the passes that they do and all the stuff upstairs, but offensively running the ball, they're 19th in the nation. Passing, they're 32nd.
Yep.
So get more production out of the running game.
210 yards a game they average on the ground. Dorsey set to go to the air. Waits and fires down the middle to Shockey, incomplete. And Dorsey'd like to have another shot at that one, I think.
Well, he stood in the pocket a long time, and the good thing that he did, he threw it to an open area between defenders. And Shockey just didn't get in between the defenders.
So Capshaw's going to have to punt on a 4th down with 1:17 left.
This is his first punt? Second punt.
Second time. And Charles Frederick back at the 10-yard line. Wow. Mile in the air. And hung it up for his guys to cover. They didn't need to. He dropped it out of bounds at about the 5-yard line. Nice punt. Reminder, coming up on Monday night, should be a heck of a battle. Tampa Bay will take on the high-powered St. Louis Rams, team that sits atop their division. Bucks and Rams, Monday Night Football on ABC, 9 o'clock Eastern.
Talk about a track meet.
Yeah.
Play the Rams, you're getting a track meet real quick.
You're not kidding. There's what they do, 31 a game, a lot of yards passing, and then you get to watch Marshall Faulk. He's one guy I could watch every week play.
Boy, isn't that the truth? He gets my vote. MVP of that league. He is good.
Here's a draw play, and Alexis has some room to run and then runs over James Lewis, who did make the tackle, and they pat each other on the backside. Good hit. Coming up in about a minute, Capital One halftime show. John and Terry will be along from Times Square Stadium, bring you the memorable moments from this year in college football, plus the scores and highlights from this kind of wacky Thanksgiving weekend that we've had in college football. Pickett pump fakes, now wants to go to Williams. He hung it up there and he caught it. And I thought Ed Reed was going to pick that off, but Pickett put a lot on it and a 16-yard pickup.
That was impressive. That young man right there is going to be around for a long time. Made some impressive plays here tonight.
3 catches now for Reggie Williams. And a first down. 43 seconds left. Pickett back. He's in trouble. They drag him down. It won't be a sack. He got a couple of yards on the scramble. Andrew Williams made the stop. And now timeout taken with 36 seconds left in the half, as the Huskies will talk it over on the sideline. We'll take a timeout with them. They trail 37-0.
Checking out digital cameras?
Yeah, I need FireWire compatibility so that I can email my pictures.
Sure. This one also makes MPEG movies.
Really?
He's excited. It's for our baby. Congratulations. Considered any names yet?
Yeah, maybe Sony or Olympus, but you're the expert, right?
We know how you feel, and that's why we're here. Circuit City. We're with you.
How about an LCD screen?
LCD, chickenpox. We're going to screen for everything.
1-800-MEDIC. I'd be very happy to.
Right, half pepperoni and half... oh, hello. I'm here at 1-800-MEDICARE, where important questions are being answered. Hold the mail. Questions about Medicare health plans, nursing homes, and supplemental insurance. Some even ask, how does switching plans affect my coverage? Although my coverage is none of their business. So call the experts, like Raymond here, 24 days a week, 8 days an hour.
1-800-MEDICARE, helping you help yourself.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Santa.
I should have used Preparation H.
Preparation H Cooling Gel cools on contact for fast relief. Preparation H Cooling Gel cools on contact.
Old Navy puts the happy back in the holidays with great gifts like sweaters for adults, kids, and baby. Now 25% off. That's a nice price. For happier holiday shopping, hurry in to Old Navy.
The last game of the half, I'd say it's a hurricane warning. 96-0 they've outscored the opposition, including 59-0 against Syracuse in the game we had for you last week, and now 37-0 here. Washington would like to get something on the board before halftime. Pickett in trouble, and down he goes again. And the ball is loose. Picked up by Miami.
It's
Joseph. I don't know if they blew it dead or not. Joseph scooped it up. Caused the fumble, picked up the fumble. But is it a fumble or just a sack? Let's see.
It's definitely a fumble, and I think it's going to be Miami's ball.
And let's let Jack Kramer sort this out for us. Timeout taken by Washington. Jack, I hope your mic works for this one.
That ball was loose.
It sure looked like it to me, but the ball just, the line of scrimmage is just set back at the 27 as though it was just a sack. They're explaining it to the Miami sideline.
That's Greg Mark, the defensive line coach. Randy Shannon, the coordinator, gets a lot of credit for this Miami defense. We showed you they haven't allowed a score in the last 6 quarters. Not only that, but they've shut 3 teams out this year, and only 2 teams have scored more than 7 points against this Hurricane defense.
There's a guy that doesn't start at tackle but plays more than the 2 guys that do. Will Fork had a big play earlier. We talked about him. If we get any official announcement, he'd be the one to make it. You can see both coaches are wondering. We're obviously wondering. It's 3rd down and long coming up. We got a chance to take another look at the play. The pocket collapsed on Pickett in a hurry.
That's Joseph, 94. The ball is out.
The ball is out at that point.
The ball is loose. That's Zajac. He doesn't get it.
And Joseph does.
Yeah.
So now, Stevens leveling Marquise Fitzgerald.
Reset the game clock. 9 seconds. 9 seconds.
Well, I'm sorry. I don't understand. I'd love to tell you, folks, there's 7 seconds left. The ball is not Miami's because their defense is still on the field.
The only thing that could have happened was
a whistle, maybe.
When he was in the grasp, the quarterback was in the grasp before he fumbled it, they could have blown the whistle.
That's got to be the case, and we have gotten no explanation, so we may not. Now they have to reset the clock. It's run its half out, and they have to put 9 seconds back up there. John and Terry, Capital One halftime show coming up. Some of the great moments from the season, some of the great moments from the last 2 days, and some shocking moments and developments from this day again.
That ball was out as soon as he was hit.
So that's it. The 2 sidelines were told we weren't.
Yeah, but that ball, I saw another replay up here. That ball was out as soon as the quarterback was hit.
Guys, the official called him down, and that's what they're sticking with.
That's their story, and they're sticking to it.
Right.
Last play of the half. Pickett throws behind Williams. Actually, there will be one more play. 4 seconds left. Cody lost his hat. Will Fork, I think, is the guy that helped him lose it. It's been a tough hat for the quarterback. Sophomore out of Caldwell, Idaho. And as we opened up the game tonight, Bob said it's going to be some things that are going to rattle him, including the noise in here and the defense he's playing against, and that has all come to pass in the first half.
He's having a tougher night here in the Orange Bowl than Ken Dorsey had in Husky Stadium last year.
You're right.
But
so we look down on a timeout. Reminder, tomorrow the Skins game continues, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. Woods, Pardovic, and Norman, and Montgomery, they all battle it out. Final round of a terrific Thanksgiving weekend
How'd they do
classic.
Today?
There we go.
No Skins?
You're kidding. It all gets, it's a push this year, right? You got to win two in a row, don't you? Two holes in a row to.
Or you got, if you win a skin, then you got to validate it on the next hole.
So $1 million at stake tomorrow, and 20% of the winnings of that $1 million purse will go to the September 11th telethon fund for the victims of the New York disaster. So those 4 guys will have at it tomorrow. And here on this beautiful Thanksgiving Saturday night in Miami, with the palm trees blowing and Old Glory doing likewise, we got 4 seconds left in the first half. And Miami has dominated from the get-go. It all started with Vilma's interception on the opening drive for Washington, and the Canes haven't looked back on offense, defense, or special teams since. Barring a penalty, here's the final play of the half. And it's on the ground to Hurst, who's had a good first half, really played hard. And the half comes to a close. All Miami. Rick Neuheisel has walked into a buzzsaw. John Saunders and Terry Biden will be at Times Square Stadium in New York on the Capital One halftime show right after this. Miami, where our Thanksgiving feast presented by Siemens about to come to a close over this weekend. All Miami. 37-0 is the halftime score. We welcome you back, everybody. Brad Nesler and Bob Griese And Bob, you know, talk about Thanksgiving feasts. I mean, they're treating them like third-day leftovers. Eat them one more time and then kick them out of the stadium here. That's what Miami's doing to Washington.
Hey,
so
Washington's had the ball 23 minutes in the first half. Miami's only had it 7 minutes. But to heck with that. Miami's had 23 plays.
They've done it every.
Only 5 in their own territory.
Every way you could do it. Portis running, Dorsey throwing. The defense came up with the first big play of the game, and that was Vilma's interception. That turned into points. McDougal's interception turned into immediate points as the big fella splashed down in the end zone. The end zone's where the special teams of Miami came up. Bad snap. Kellen Winslow comes up with a safety, sacking the punter. And then, as we've seen him do so many times, Philip Buchanan on the ensuing free kick, 60 yards to set up another score.
Miami starting from the Washington 46-yard line on the average. I mean, that is just unbelievable. Turnovers, punt blocks, punt returns, everything going Miami way. 21 points off those turnovers.
Let's check in with Swanee.
Well, Bob and Brad, Greg Neuheisel is honest and he is realistic. He told his team there's no way that we expected this to be the situation coming into halftime. But what we have to do is go out and play with character. How they play the second half, he says, is going to reflect very much on who they are. His last statement to me was, we are the Washington Huskies. We will play with pride. Brad?
I'm sure they will, and they've got guys out there that no doubt are not going to quit, as they've got seniors out there on that team that are thinking about the bowl game as the next contest upcoming, but they didn't want to have this happen to them on the road. Take a look at our Morgan Stanley well-connected storyline. Cody Pickett, 3 interceptions in that first half, and look at the time of possession, 23-10. That means 6:50 for Miami, and I don't think I've ever seen a half where a team had it less than 7 minutes and had 37 points. But again, as Bob said, when you're starting 18 of your 23 plays on the Huskies' end of the field, it's helping you.
And some of these offensive players for Miami are complaining a little bit because they didn't get enough time. Their stats.
Well, here comes some stats. Portis got about 11 yards.
He doesn't want to go down.
No, he doesn't.
Portis had 69 yards rushing on 7 carries in the first half.
And in that first half became the 5th Miami running back to hit the 1,000-yard in a season plateau. There's the other guys.
Had a few good ones around here. Edgerrin did it twice.
And they say that the guy that is behind Portis, Frank Gore, is capable of being Edgerrin James type of running back before he's done. And Otis Anderson's the all-time leader in yardage. Here's a quick slant to Jones. Puts the brakes on and wheels. And he's down to the 45-yard line. I think he's back and healthy.
Back and healthy. He's got some speed. He won the 100 in the Big East the last couple of years. Madavi catches him from behind. I got to believe that he wasn't up to speed yet.
Well, there's where he makes the turn. And Madavi was already closing by that time.
The linebacker got him.
23-yard pickup for Darrell. One of those seniors playing out here on the home field for the last time. First down at the 45. Dorsey, quick drop, throws out at Nick Sands. Sands down the sideline. Knocked out of bounds by Alexander.
Darrell Jones is the only one of the top 5 receivers that Miami will lose. The other 4 are back, as is Dorsey. All of the running backs except Davenport, but the 2 tailbacks are back. Portis, McGahee, and Gore. And they'll be loaded again next year, I guess is what I'm getting to.
Here's the give. Portis breaks into the secondary again inside the 20. Davis and Tuiasosopo make the stop, but not before Clinton tacks on a few more.
Take a look from behind the offense, that offensive line. Romberg and Bibla on the right side. The thing for Miami, the Hurricanes, offensively, they want to come out and establish 2 or 3 good offensive drives to carry them into next week. I mean, they've got this game won, basically. Now they got to start getting their momentum, keep it going for Virginia Tech next week.
Here's Portis, changing directions, gets the first down, stays on his feet. He's inside the 10. Here's what the plays have done so far to start this third quarter. 12 yards, 23 yards, 19 yards, 9 yards, and 10 yards right there.
And Washington knows the outcome of this game. Defensively, I mean, they know that they can't compete on the same field with the Hurricanes. It showed the first half. So, you know, it's like Neuheisel said coming out of the halftime. He says, we got to play with pride. And if they're not playing, I'm sure he's going to get some other guys in there.
First and goal now for the Canes at the Washington 9. Here's Portis already with 3 touchdowns. Oh, and he lost the ball at the end of that one. And Washington says they have it. Let's see. They might have blown it dead. Still no signal from the official.
Well, no signal means it's Miami's ball.
Yeah, exactly. And it's going to be at the 2-yard line. So Clinton did a cartwheel down there and ended up.
I think the ball came out when he hit the ground. Oh, we'll take a look.
There's a good look at it. And yep,
yeah,
his shoulder and the ball was.
Yeah, his forearm and ball was on the ground, and then it came out.
He's got 100 yards rushing now. Davenport on the carry.
That's just some sugar for the fullback.
You
right
bet.
there.
He already caught a touchdown pass in the first half.
Davenport, the fullback, ex-running back that we talked about, moved over to fullback the last couple of years, does all the heavy hitting, the blocking, some receiving. When they get down near the goal line, they give him a touchdown every now and then. Give him some love.
A little bit of sugar. It's at the 2-yard line. 3rd down and goal. Will Dorsey go play action here? Nope. Davenport. Oh, what a collision. Did you hear that?
I don't think he made it.
Madavi and Davenport, I think it was Madavi's helmet and Davenport that collided. You could hear it up here. And I thought Larry said, let's go for it.
He is. You know, the bottom line is it would be a tough angle to kick a field goal because they're on the hash mark and they're on like the half-yard line. To kick that ball between there would be a tough angle.
Portis is coming back in. It's 4th and goal. As Bob said, it's at about the 1-foot line. And Dorsey's going to call timeout.
Yeah.
Wasn't quite sure if he had the right personnel in there, whatever. They don't want to waste an opportunity to put up 7 more, but they lead by 37.
You can slow down investing. You can stop investing entirely.
There was one man who had a funny hat.
But you can't stop curious toddlers from one day becoming college freshmen.
And there was a small man that someone put him in a bird cage.
Which is why your Morgan Stanley financial advisor will never let you lose sight of what you're investing for.
And
at the Home Depot, we're driving down the cost of home improvement. Now through December 2nd, you can put 0 money down and get 0 payments with 0% interest till January of 2003 on any Home Depot consumer credit card purchases totaling $299 or more. Imagine, no money down, no payments, and no interest for over a year. In-store or online, the best gifts come in a bright orange box at the Home Depot.
How is Dave Thomas going to decide which sandwich to introduce? The Chicken Bacon Swiss or the Bacon Swiss Cheeseburger with hickory smoked bacon and tangy Swiss?
Heads is chicken, tails is the cheeseburger.
Introducing both.
The all-new Kia Spectra. Drive one and at some moment, it'll hit you. The moment you realize you can actually afford a car available with air conditioning and power windows. Plus, Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. We don't know where or when, but it will hit you.
Thank you! Thank you!
Introducing the 2002 Kia Spectra. Finally, a car you can really get into.
Tuesday, it's election night on Spin City. The mayor and his staff are confident they'll pull off another victory.
We're losing!
It's a new Spin City Tuesday, 8:30, 7:30 Central on ABC.
10:32 to go in the third quarter, and Miami on the opening drive of this quarter has marched it all the way down to the 1-foot line where it is 4th down. And they've decided they are going for it here.
If they don't make it, Washington will take over on their own half-yard line. So Miami defensively can come back out and stuff it.
They put Carey in that backfield. Airborne is Davenport, and he's in. Touchdown.
Second effort. Didn't make it the first time, but good second effort by Davenport.
Madavi met him again in the hole, but this time Najee had enough head of steam to get it in.
Watch the meeting right over the top, right there.
Oh, man.
Madavi and Davenport, fullback to fullback.
That was the collision on the previous play, and Madavi won that one. Najee wins it the second time, a 1-yard touchdown.
With a number like 41, Madavi, he's got to have been the fullback.
He knew where he was going.
College.
Larry Coker's team now up 44-0. We talked about whether or not it's difficult for him to get his team up every week. It doesn't look like it was a problem tonight, but this is his response.
Well, I think it is hard every week. I've heard some great coaches say it's 3 times a year is all you can really have a great offensive game. I think that's why some people say special teams and defense are the key for the consistency, but I don't really believe that. I think you can play well offensively every week. I don't think you can play a great game every week, but I think the games transform in different fashions, and I think again, I think it's hard to do every week, and that's why there are not many undefeated teams in the country.
And I don't think they have offensively. They've played great tonight. They've played well.
They haven't had to, really.
They've taken advantage of their opportunities that were presented by their defense and special teams.
Last week, remember, they averaged just under 10 yards a play against Syracuse. And we told you the gobbles and chunks they were taking out on this 80-yard march in 9 plays. By far the longest drive, both in distance and in time, 4.5 minutes. And they get the 1-yard touchdown by Davenport. 44-0 Miami. Seaver's kick. Going to float down to Rock Alexander at about the 8-yard line. Alexander found himself an opening. He's in the open field. A kicker to beat. Rock Alexander taking it down inside the 40. Buchanan's going to track him down at about the 25-yard line.
Buchanan again.
He's special on special teams no matter what he's doing, but it was a 67-yard kick return.
He scores him and he stops him. Rock Buchanan, who has returned. He's returned a kickoff 95 yards earlier in the season, and also a fumble recovery for a touchdown against Michigan in the first game. They've got the right guy with the ball, but Buchanan says, not on us.
Boy, Buchanan had to run a long ways to track him down, and now he sets up shop at his cornerback position up at the top of your screen. Pickett might want to go that way. Wide open is Arnold at the 17, puts a move on, and he's down to the 5-yard line. So this is the second time Washington's been down inside the 5. Last time they came away without any points.
Good protection, first down pass. Arnold open right in front of Reed. The best time to throw any time is on first down because of the threat of the run or the pass.
That was a 30-yard pickup, 1st and goal at the 5. Alexis is the tailback. Pickett comes up throwing, tipped, incomplete. And Rick Neuheisel said throw it over the top.
Yeah.
Remember, we told you earlier, Miami hasn't allowed a point after the first quarter at home this year. They still haven't, but now Washington's got it again at the 5-yard line. And 1 touchdown in the last 19 quarters. Well, we've seen them 96-0 over the last week and a half so far. Pickett, Alexis, straight ahead, touchdown. And the local kid goes in from 5 yards out.
Miami came in averaging 8 points a game overall. They led the nation in scoring defense, averaging 8 points, and so they'd like to keep it that way.
Already had 3 shutouts this year. This won't be a shutout now as Alexis scores and Anderson in for the point after.
But there's the pride that Rick Neuheisel talked to Swanee about coming out the second half.
Anderson's extra point is good. So that guy from Boca Raton High School, John Paul II High School, scored it, and then the kicker, same school, hits the extra point. So the Florida connection for the Huskies gets the first 7. And Rick's not done coaching.
Well, they're moving on. They're going to Holiday Bowl.
There's the guys we're talking about, all 3 of them. Charles Frederick, who has run back kicks and punch tonight. Anderson, the kicker, and Alexis, the tailback. So good for them. 2 of the guys have come through so far.
I was talking to Anderson, the kicker. I said, how did you get from Boca Raton, Florida, to Seattle, Washington, University of Washington? I said, well, he said, Miami had just signed a kicker. Florida had a good kicker. And Florida State had a good kicker when I was a senior, and said, it says it looked like a good place to go. He says, I haven't questioned my decision yet.
Might as well go 3,000 miles away from home.
And I said, well, what about mom and dad? He says, it's a long way for them to go. He says they make every game.
That's
every
something.
game.
One of the Hurricane fans outside our booth said to me at halftime, if Miami's #1 and Florida's #2 in the BCS and it stays that way, I got to travel an awful long ways to watch a football game for the national championship. I said, boy, do you ever. Gore can't handle the kick, goes out of the end zone, touchback. We talked about the trip. It is the farthest in the continental United States from campus to campus you can go. Seattle to Miami, 3,033 miles. So unless you're in Miami, you're going to go play in the Great Alaska Shootout. That's about as far as you can go.
And these 2 teams first got together in '91 when they shared a national championship. Then they got together in '94 when Washington broke the 58-game winning streak here in the Orange Bowl. And then again last year when Miami went up to the Huskies, and that's the only game they've lost in the last 2 years.
Riding the nation's longest winning streak at 19, soon to be 20. This is Frank Gore. Got about a yard. Kai Ellis made the stop looking back last year. We did that game out in Seattle. It was Marcus Tuiasosopo. He had himself quite a ball game, hooking up there with his big tight end. That was a huge touchdown. Miami did rally. Ken Dorsey going for the score, but in the end, it was the Huskies 34-29. And that's the only blemish in the last 2 years on these guys in green and orange. Here's Gore, little counter, broke 1 tackle, snaps out there over the 25-yard line. He almost got a first down out of that. 8 for Gore. Portis, by the way, and I mentioned it, I don't know if he'll play again tonight, but he's over 100. And Gore, remember, after Portis got his 130-something last week, came in and outrushed him against Syracuse.
Yes, a couple long runs.
They keep making each other better, those 2 guys.
Boy, that's the way to have it, too. You got depth, and you have competition, a little friendly competition going both ways.
Clinton's closing in on Edgerrin James' school record of 100-yard games, 7 this year, and you saw 13 for a career. Now Gore, and he'll have a lot of 100-yard games before he's done playing ball here. And got himself a first down, but we got a flag on the play. Miami might have had a couple of guys come out of their stances, I think. A little bit of movement, and that'll take the first down away.
Prior to snap, snap infraction against the offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Bob and Brad. One of the things I find very interesting about Larry Coker and his style is he views a football game not as one game but in halves. And he said Miami has only lost 2 halves of football going back to the Washington game last year and the first half of the Boston College. Well, that is absolutely phenomenal when you think about it. They have only lost in terms of scoring in 2 halves of football.
Yeah, that's amazing. And We sure haven't seen them lose too many halves this year, I'll tell you that much.
We did their Penn State game, the first game of the year. That's when Penn State was not playing certainly like they're playing right now.
Right. Penn State came back today to beat Michigan State. If you didn't hear or didn't see it.
And if Joe Paterno, they started out, what, 0-4 or 0-5 or something? If they win next week, they'd be bowl eligible.
That's amazing. There's a strike thrown to Darryl Jones, who's becoming a part of the offense again tonight. Pick up a 13.
Darryl Jones, a fifth-year senior, running a little slant from the top of your screen. The thing I like, the ball is on him when he breaks, and it's right there where he can catch it and do something with it.
That baby was on the way before he cut inside.
And that's the way they work in practice. They want to get the ball there as soon as he breaks, so he can. That's the time when you're going to be open the most, if you're ever open, is right when you make the break on the slant.
And some confusion on the substitution. Dorsey's not happy, has to use his second timeout of this half. 7:55 remaining, third quarter.
Behold the legendary Lord of the Rings. Behold Gandalf the Wizard. Behold Frodo the Hobbit. And now they're not just to behold, they're to be held. Now at Burger King, when you behold and buy a Whopper value meal, even when you hold the pickles, get a magical Lord of the Rings light-up glass goblet, just $1.99 each. Collect all four and behold Strider the Ranger and Arwen the Elf. They're all yours to have and to hold. The adventure begins here.
Introducing the all-new Kia Spectra, an affordable car with so much more. Available with 6-speaker stereo, air conditioning, map lights, power windows, and Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
Are you still reading that?
Yeah, I can't put it down. Oh. Wow.
The 2002 Kia Spectra. Finally, a car you can really get into.
Spin the globe. It's your turn to spin the globe. Spin it, yeah.
All around the world, Siemens is helping people work together, even when they're not together. From next-generation internet to mobile business solutions, we're giving people the freedom to communicate better.
Spin, spin the globe. It's your turn to spin the globe.
Great Orange Bowl Stadium history moments. The last national championship Miami won was the beginning of '92, January, after the '91 season. They won it right here. Actually ended up sharing that national title with Washington. Dennis Erickson's team, shutout winner over Nebraska. As that year, Miami won the AP poll and Washington won the coaches poll. But there's the 4, and they want one more black dot over there that says 0-1. That's what they're hoping for. And they're well on their way tonight. So Virginia Tech's the only team that's standing in their way from at least getting to that game. Dorsey fires. Johnson with a catch. He's out of bounds, but he made the grab at about the 30. In front of Chris Massey. Pick up a 32.
Andre Johnson does a nice job because he knows the ball's not in the air. It takes a long time, and he knows his quarterback, so he's looking back to see if it's underthrown, and it is. Steps out of bounds right there, but he did a nice job of looking back and stopping, coming back for the ball.
Down to the 30-yard line. Three wide out. Sands joins the group. He's in a slot. And it's Dorsey from the shotgun. Portis flanking him. Dorsey loads and fires deep middle. Incomplete. Johnson, the intended receiver. And we head to Times Square Stadium in New York for an update. Here's John Saunders.
Brad here on the Burger King update. The Georgia against Georgia Tech. David Green looking for Fred Gibson. The first fake and then fires it down with the wrist. 50-yard game. It sets up a touchdown from Veron Haynes from 3 plays later. They go for the 2-point conversion. Don't get it. Georgia leads 21-17.
Those games always tight battles, going down to the wire and sometimes overtime. In the flats tonight at Bobby Dodd Stadium. Good game going there. Portis stopped for no gain by Larry Triplett. Portis says to Bidla, I'm sorry I was going the other way. Those guys up front, and I know we give them credit. I don't know if there's enough credit you can give that group.
Let me just say one thing. Miami has only been sacked. Dorsey's only been sacked twice this year. This is the 10th game for the University of Miami, and the number of passes they've thrown.
And Romberg, the center, one of the guys we're talking about, comes out a little bit shaken up, and Joe Rodriguez will take his spot. I think he hurt his thumb, maybe.
Yeah.
And you got to have your thumb to snap the football.
Well, he's injured that thumb before, and he's had it taped, as you can see. But when you talk about lack of sacks by a quarterback, you first of all look to the offensive line, and also some to the quarterback.
Yep. In 292 pass attempts. High snap with a new center. Dorsey pulled it down. Sands pulled in the pass. And all in all, a pickup of about 2 or 3 on the pass play.
It's a nice job by Dorsey to knock the snap back to himself. Watch him. Reaches up. Whoops. No sweat. I've been this before. Rock Alexander was blitzing from the outside.
He's going to set up a field goal attempt of 45 yards. For Sievers, we saw him hit from 48 last week. Is that going to drift in there for him? Not quite. Just missed it a little bit to the right. Somewhat like last week, the only thing Miami really did wrong was miss 1 field goal, and that's about all they've done wrong tonight again. So the score remains 44-7. $78,114 in the sellout crowd tonight.
Beautiful night.
Oh man, is it ever.
Just gorgeous.
And there's a great look.
This Orange Bowl, you talk about championship games. They've had some Orange Bowl games here that ended up in championship games. They've played Super Bowl games here. This is a grand old stadium.
Here's Alexis, who scored Washington's touchdown. And he's out to about the 32-yard line. Let's check in with Swanee.
Thank you, Brad. I'm with Barbara Hedges, who's the athletic director at the University of Washington. Barbara, you know, I hated it when you left USC in 1991 to go up to Washington, but I was so happy for you. Your program spent over $100 million recently. Will you continue to grow?
Absolutely. We've completed the renovation of our basketball arena. We've built an indoor practice facility. We're building a baseball and soccer stadium, and a new academic center.
You've got a great program. What does it take today to have a successful collegiate program?
Well, you certainly have to keep up your facilities, obviously, and that's what we're doing at Washington. And you have to recruit very well and have an outstanding program, and that's what we're trying to do.
Well, continued success to you.
Thank you.
Barbara, thank you very much. Brad?
Thanks, Barbara and Swanee. 3rd down and 5.
I understand she spends a little time on the golf course, too.
I think she played this morning, didn't she?
I think she canceled.
She canceled.
Her group played, but she
had things to do.
Yeah.
3rd and 5, and here's a completion. Patrick Reddick, and he's got a first down. Pick up a 12 on a 3rd and 5. So, again, the Huskies not quitting, trying to work it down the field here with 5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Take a look down on the Hurricanes and the Huskies from Budweiser.com Airship. Proud to provide you with live shots 1,000 feet above the Orange Bowl. That's a good spot to watch the game from. If you can't see the plays develop from up there, you don't know football.
Well, they look like ants from that.
Well, now look at it. It's getting closer, though.
It's getting better.
I can see it coming. It's a pass. It's incomplete. McDougal got some nice pressure on Pickett.
Spent a lot of days in this old place playing ball, I tell you. The wind always blew.
I said that to you coming in today. Our ties were flying out of our sport coats. I said, man, did you always have to throw in this stuff?
Yeah, always had wind. Always had wind. You know, Miami won. They won their first national championship in this stadium against Nebraska in the Orange Bowl game. Howard Schnellenberger.
One of the 4.
Yep.
That one was in '83. Pickett in trouble. Oh boy, the ball is loose. It's covered by Washington. Could have been a worse disaster than it already was.
It was Joseph that knocked the ball loose. That's his 4th forced fumble of the season. You know, you talk about this Miami team. These two defensive tackles. Joseph, 94 right there, just splits the two offensive linemen. Ben, the center, is right there to recover.
His 4th forced fumble, and we think he had 5, but they didn't call it earlier in the ball game. Remember that?
Good point. Good point.
So now it's 3rd down and a couple of miles. 3rd and 30. There aren't a bunch of plays in the playbook for this one. And the ball's loose again. And this time Miami does have it.
McDougal.
McDougal, who's got an interception, now has a fumble recovery.
Well, they came in leading the nation in turnover margin and also leading the nation in takeaways.
He never handled a snap.
And how alert McDougal is to get on the football. What is that, 4 turnovers today?
Wow. So all Miami and about to maybe be more Miami. They lead 44-7.
How can you provide for the future of the people who depend on you? With the power of Pacific Life. For over 130 years, Pacific Life has improved the lives of millions with investments, annuities, and insurance. Because careful planning today can help them reach their dreams tomorrow. Discover the power of Pacific Life.
Hi, Fred. Looks like IT will be jumping through hoops again today.
Fred, I sent out an email about the email being down.
I opened that virus just like you told us not to.
Hi, Fred. Looks like another all-nighter. Sorry.
At CDW, we understand what it can be like in IT. That's why you get computing solutions from your highly trained account manager and services designed to make your day a little easier.
What's wrong, Fred? We're only asking the impossible.
CDW, computing solutions built for business.
For men, every morning it's the same routine. The desperate search for a way to relieve the pain after shaving.
Bye, babe.
There's a better way to soothe your skin. New Nivea for Men Aftershave Balm is an advanced blend of moisturizers and vitamins that soothe and actually improve your skin. Nivea Aftershave Balm. More evolved skincare.
Meet Max. Energizer Max. Introducing a new, powerful Energizer. Energizer Max. Now with the power inside to keep you going. And then some. Do you have the bunny inside?
There's nothing more dangerous.
He says a competent
than a criminal with a badge.
Where is the shield? I don't know.
New NYPD Blue, ABC this Tuesday, 9/8 Central.
Best show on television coming up Tuesday. New partner there for Sipowicz.
Hey, my man Sipowicz, he got a new partner. He got a lot of new partners. They've been running him in and out there the last few years.
If you had to work with him, you wouldn't be a partner for him for long
he's
either.
a nice guy. He's really a nice guy.
Dennis Franz, great guy, great actor, great show. Tuesday night 9. Here we got 3:58 left, third quarter. And Miami's putting on a show at the 21-yard line of the Huskies. Nice play fake. Dorsey straight down the middle, and he got it complete inside the 5. It's 1st and goal. Zips it down to Najee Davenport again.
What a weapon to be able to get a back down the middle of the field. Usually it's a tight end, but you use a little play fake, and then you get the fullback down the middle of the field who can catch the ball and go up and make a play.
This drive, the 5th one that started for Miami in Washington territory, and now they've got it 1st and goal. Just inside the 4.
He throws it out here one-on-one.
Gonna have to hurry. There it is. Quick slant. Touchdown. You call Andre Johnson on a slant. And Dorsey's thrown another one, his 3rd of the night.
Well, he had single coverage. Johnson hadn't caught a touchdown pass tonight. So he's got 10 touchdown receptions in 10 games.
So Kenny Dorsey made one misfire tonight with a bad ball that was intercepted, but he's thrown 3 touchdown passes.
The offense hadn't did much the first half. Now they're just kind of getting they work all week on all these plays, and they'd only had the ball 6 minutes and 50 seconds the first half. So they said, Coach, let us go out and throw some, do something, run some.
Penalty marker on the extra
Illegal
point.
Substitution against the defense. 12 men on the field.
Well, 12 guys out there trying to stop the extra point. Again.
Little slant. Johnson on the right side, little slant to the inside. If you get inside of that receiver, of that defensive back, and you don't have any help, you can't stop it.
And Dorsey put it in a great spot, put a lot of mustard on it. He threw it low, and Johnson went down and got it. And we're going to go down to Swanee.
Hey, Brad, I'm reminiscing a little bit. I'm under the stadium where, when I was here for Super Bowl 10 and 13, they brought us down here that scored it for press conferences. There's the locker room we had for Super Bowl 10 and 13. But you know what's really interesting? I came over here on this wall, and look what I found. It's a picture of Bob Griese, and it's faded. You can't touch it. They got something over it, but it almost looks like he's colorized. It used to be black and white, and they just... Is that right, Bob?
It looks like an old Gone with the Wind or something with that coloring.
They're setting me up, folks.
Can't they find a better spot to put that picture of
I'll
you?
get even with these guys. They're setting me up.
You're not even throwing it.
We got a blowout here.
You're scrambling, Bob.
We got a blowout. We got, looking for things to do here.
Holy cow.
And they're really working me over. I wondered why you guys were turning on all these lights up here.
There's got to be a better
Swanee,
spot for that picture.
I'll get
Swanee.
even.
Swanee's buffing it up a little bit.
You're
for
really
you, though.
faded down here, too.
I think that's mold. I think that's mold down there in the bottom. It's probably gotten damp down there at times.
Swanee, you say I'm faded. When you turned your head toward that machine, you're thinning a little bit.
What do you mean? You're talking about my hair fading?
Yeah, you're thinning a little bit back there, Barney.
Yeah, well.
Oh,
it's been a long time, Bob, for both of us.
I told you I'd get even. I just didn't think it'd be that quick.
I was trying not to turn my head.
This is getting as ugly as this game is. Here's the kick.
No, my kids are watching this, Bob. They're not going to be happy with you.
Okay.
Oh, boy. Frederick on the kick return. And Washington goes back to work. 51-7 after that touchdown reception by Johnson. Reminder, next Saturday night, Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship, 8 o'clock Eastern, live next Saturday. And it'll be Colorado and Texas. And a week ago or so, if you'd have said that, everybody thought you were crazy.
Isn't that the truth? I kiddingly said that. Everybody was expecting a rematch, Nebraska-Oklahoma.
Right.
I said, hey, wait a minute. It could be Colorado-Texas. And, nobody ever talked about Colorado being anywhere.
Mac Brown's team with just one loss. That was to Oklahoma in the regular season, but they have played it through and not lost again. And
but Gary Barnett. Gary Barnett, the job he did to Colorado.
And if they play like they did against Nebraska, they'll give Texas all kinds of fits, and who knows? If you haven't heard, what we're alluding to is the fact that Oklahoma State beat Oklahoma today, if you didn't see the score earlier. And Jeremy Stevens at tight end got a big head start. I don't know if the penalty is going to go on him or if it's on Miami here.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
I think Jeremy might have been the intended receiver on that because he came flying out.
Oh, he
of there.
did. He has not been real sharp. As we mentioned, he missed a lot of the season, and he just got back last week. He's not been real sharp. Jumped offside a couple times, dropped a couple of balls.
So it's second down at 16. Draw play. Hurst with some open field. Cuts outside, got across the 25 to about the 26-yard line. Let's check in Times Square Stadium in New York again. Here's John.
Brad, Georgia Tech and Georgia in a pretty good one. Georgia looking to add to a lead. George Godsey is picked off by Tim Wansley, and he does add to that lead, taking it in for the touchdown. Right now it stands at 28-17. There's about 8 minutes left in this one. You see Haynes having a terrific day.
Right. Georgia Tech trying to win the 4th straight in that series, and you got to go way back in the late 50s, early 60s the last time that's happened against Georgia. So the Dogs trying to get a little bit of payback.
But a tough year for George O'Leary, huh? They had talk of a championship maybe up there in Atlanta.
Only about 7 points away from being undefeated, but that isn't going to happen. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Kia Motors, makers of a full line of quality cars at affordable prices. Burger King, home of the Whopper. Pacific Life, annuities, insurance, investments. Discover the power of Pacific Life. And new Nivea for Men aftershave skin balm, more evolved skin care.
Here we go. Watch this. Do a little shake and rattle and roll.
Yeah, they got a little Nivea in there on their
rattle and roll.
Oh, that's good. They got hooked together.
Get their helmets hooked.
And Reggie Williams makes a catch. That's a first down. This kid, the future is awfully bright for him. 6'4", 215. Tremendous amount of confidence in his own abilities. He dropped the first 2 passes of his college career. Rick Neuheisel said, you know, we were kind of wondering now what's going on in his mind, and he hasn't dropped many since.
He's caught 4 tonight, 58 yards.
First down with that one out at the 45-yard line. Chris Singleton in the backfield now. And he gets the call. Lewis made the stop. Singleton, a freshman.
Brad and Bob, I asked Reggie Williams what's the difference between his playing ability now than when he started the first season. He says, what I do now better is run my routes. He said, I used to round them off. Now they're much more crisp. He says, and better understanding of defense. He said, I'm doing a better job getting off the jams. He's got a 3-year plan, and it seems to be working well for him at the moment.
Hey, Swanee, what do you think about his confidence level after playing against this defense here tonight?
Down the middle, intercepted by Lewis. And Lewis going the other way. 4th pick of the night. Lewis still on his feet. Ball came loose. And still Miami's. They've covered it. Howard Clark with the fumble recovery after the long return by Lewis.
What's that? 5 takeaways, 4 interceptions, and 1 fumble. Pickett never even sees him. He was just leading from right to left, and he should have looked ahead of the receiver. Just threw it out there, and Lewis picks off, and Pickett makes the fumble. That's the 3rd interception for Lewis this year.
So for the first time tonight, we have a guy that has had interceptions previously this season. We had 3 first-time interceptors in the 2 linebackers, Campbell and Vilma, and McDougal, the defensive lineman. Finally, a DB gets his hands on one, and he knows what to do with it. He runs it back to the 22-yard line. Now Frank Gore. Gore down to the 10. First and goal, Miami. Man, oh man, they got some weapons.
Bob, you asked that question about Reggie Williams, but the answer applies to everybody, offense and defense, of the Washington football team. What happens in a game like this is you get the chance to measure yourself against maybe one of the best football teams in the program, maybe the best football team in the country this year. And now you understand what it takes to be number 1. Then you go back and you work on all those things, whether you're on the offensive line, defensive line, secondary, receiver, quarterback. Now you go work on all those things in the spring. Then you come back with resolve to be the champions of your conference and to compete against the Miamis, the Florida States, the Colorados, and Nebraskas of the country.
Timeout taken by Miami, and that's their last one. I don't think they're going to need them.
You know, we talked to Rick Neuheisel this week, Brad, and he said one of the things that he did was he called Frank Beamer. He says, well, he says, I got Miami. What can you tell me? Well, Frank's got Miami next week. So whatever he may have told him, I don't think was any good.
It's definitely their house. And tonight with the seniors, they're all coming out to a standing ovation right now. Gonzalez and those guys.
Took them all out.
What a group.
Shockey's not a senior. He is a junior. But Gonzalez and Bibla and McKinney along that offensive line. There's Romberg.
There's the group. And Al Gore in there. Getting the call. And getting about 3, maybe 4. Roderick Green made the stop. So nice gesture not only by Larry Coker to allow his seniors to get that standing ovation, but those guys can rest for an extra 15 minutes. Nobody got hurt tonight. Lewis, remember, got banged up, and he just came back in and had an interception, so he's all right.
Right.
And now the fourth quarter, I don't think they have to worry about it belonging to them because the whole game has already. End of 3. 51-7 Miami.
The all-new Kia Spectra. Drive one and at some moment, it'll hit you. The moment you realize you can actually afford a car available with air conditioning and power windows. Plus, Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. We don't know where or when, but it will hit you.
Thank you! Thank you!
Introducing the 2002 Kia Spectra. Finally, a car you can really get into.
Point, shoot, create. The HP Digital Photo Studio, featuring the Pavilion 7975 with the Intel Pentium 4 processor. How will you use it? Save up to $250 by mail on HP digital photography products.
It was a Monday night thriller last season. Dunn battled Falk in a back-and-forth duel. Are you ready for more? Bucks, Rams, Monday Night Football at 9, 6 Pacific.
Oh, there's no place like home for the holidays.
This holiday season, Lowe's brings home improvement home for the holidays. Lowe's has a holiday store within a store to make it easier than ever to decorate your home. And as always, Lowe's promises low prices every day, guaranteed. For 55 years, we've been helping families celebrate the holidays
We can't beat home, sweet.
and improving home improvement.
With Sprint Caller ID, you can see who's calling and know exactly how to answer.
Michael.
Hey, Mom.
I hate knowing you're all alone on your birthday.
What do you say you join us in Hawaii?
My treat.
Oh, Hawaii sounds great. Listen, I'll call you back. Let's party!
And now, for a limited time, when you call 1-877-1-SOLUTION to order Sprint Caller ID, you'll receive this free Caller ID phone.
Quiet! It's my daughter.
Order today.
A warning if you're heading to the beach this holiday weekend after the game.
He certainly didn't hurt his chances tonight.
Yeah. Well, you know, it seems to me like, unlike other years, there aren't nobody's stepping forward. Everybody's kind of backing up.
Not a clear-cut favorite. Kudif's in at quarterback, by the way. You saw Dorsey with a cap on the sideline. Here's a run by Gore down to about the 5-yard line. You saw Gonzalez with some of his family and friends wearing his jersey number and getting some hugs. One of the seniors that won't have to play anymore in this fourth quarter can take a break. His hair's getting long. He says there's a reason. Not cutting it till the national championship.
I'm not cutting it until we get to California, baby. That's, you know, everybody has their little different things on the team. And early on in the season, you know, you might have seen me with a beard because we didn't shave our beards to like basically all the offensive line until like to the day after the first game, and we beat Penn State. And then everybody has their different quirks, and me and our center, Brett Romberg, you know, you can remember him from last year with the long hair, the kind of the rock star look. So I'm like, all right, I'll do that with you this year. So not a bad deal.
Day after the Rose Bowl, it gets cut then.
Yeah, if you guys want to show up and pay for it, I'll be really happy to invite you.
The day after the Rose Bowl, the hair gets cut, and he invited us to come out and pay for it. I think we'll skip that trip, but you saw he and Romberg hugging over there. They're the two guys that are letting it go shaggy till Pasadena. I think Keith had probably splurged for those two haircuts.
Keith Jackson,
yeah, Jackson
he's going to be doing the championship game at the Rose Bowl this year.
He can fit the bill. He's got enough dough.
Yeah.
So now it's 4th and goal just outside the 1. Gore, the tailback. And he'll get the call, and he'll get the touchdown standing up. You put in the guys that don't play that much, although Gore does, but the guys leading the way in front of him haven't gotten a lot of time, and you can't blame them for wanting to play, and you certainly can't keep them from scoring.
That's just straightaway football.
And Gore from a yard makes it 57-7. High snap. Receivers got it up and good, though.
Last week, Miami scored 59. This week, 57.
58 now.
58.
They did give up a touchdown tonight, though. That's something they didn't do last week.
What would you do if someone passed you the keys to a Pontiac Grand Am for a week?
Now I'm getting psyched.
I can't believe I did it.
Oh my God! How do you feel?
So excited.
Gonna grab me. The state number 3, right? I'm telling everybody for the rest of my life about this.
So what would you do with a Pontiac Grand Am? Tell us at Pontiac.com.
Chili's Southwestern Egg Rolls, where East meets Southwest.
Yay!
Perfect. Okay.
And wonderful.
Trying to save a little time this holiday season? Then come to Best Buy, where you'll find something fun for everyone on your list, all in one place. Best Buy, this holiday, turn on the fun.
It's new, a flame-grilled top sirloin, marinated Cajun shrimp, and a great price, $8.99. Chili Surf and Sirloin. We're having some fun now.
What would you do if someone passed you the keys to a Pontiac Grand Am for a week?
We're going to drive as fast as we can to San Francisco.
We're doing big things for the Pontiac Grand Am. Big things, baby. 3-car park, next 3 exits. How do we get to 3-car? Vegas!
This is like living a dream, baby.
Yeah! Welcome to Vegas, baby. We on the strip, baby.
On the strip.
Oh, yeah!
Girls gone wild at the Bellagio.
Yes.
So what would you do with a Pontiac Grand Am?
How you doing?
Tell us at Pontiac.com.
He holds the key to a doorway she never imagined would lead to her own past.
How did you know my name?
A new alias, ABC Sunday.
All right, Thanksgiving feast presented by Siemens. The last few days, and Miami, everything from here on out's gravy. I guess it's 58-7. They will be the #1 team in everything, both polls and the BCS on Monday.
The interesting thing will be who will be number 2 and 3.
You would think Florida, but you know, we'll have to wait and see. How far will Nebraska drop?
Exactly. How far will Nebraska drop? Oklahoma with 2 losses should be out of the top 5 or 6. So Florida and Texas and Oregon are the ones that should benefit and move up to maybe 2, 3, and 4, depending on how far Nebraska drops.
Severs, another great kick, knocked it out of the end zone. Pontiac drive summary: 11 drives, 7 touchdowns.
6 possessions for Miami inside the red zone, inside the 20. 6 possessions, 6 touchdowns.
They didn't have to drive very far. A lot of times they were just pulling out of the parking lot and you know, maybe through the driveway. That was about it.
Miami's had the ball 46 plays tonight. 38 of them have been in Washington territory.
That's just amazing. Pickett back to throw. Overshot Arnold as intended receiver. Fitzgerald was back there covering. Cody Pickett's had a tough night, and he'll have a lot of bright moments in his Husky career. He's a tough kid. 6'4", about 210. And he's been knocked down and beat up and sacked and intercepted 3 times.
Well, this is like going to the top of the mountain right here.
Actually, he's been intercepted 4 times.
Next year, he'll compare all the other schools, the other teams, and these defenses to this one.
Yep. And but he's intercepted a 5th time. Fitzgerald's got this one. Everybody's in on the act for Miami.
It's the 2nd interception of the year for Fitzgerald. He is the 5th defensive back. He doesn't even start.
6th Washington turnover. Alstrom, you see there, the intended receiver, and it's underthrown, and Fitzgerald goes up and just snatches it. So 5 interceptions, 2 by defensive backs, 2 by linebackers, 1 by a defensive end.
We'd show you a shot of defensive coordinator Randy Shannon if we could. He's up in the press box, and they can't get a camera on him, or we'd show him.
McGahee trying to come back from having some injury problems recently and probably losing his number 2 tailback job to Frank Gore in the process. Just rips off a 12-yard run. That's what I mean about everybody's getting involved.
Yeah. But Randy Shannon turned this defense around. He was with the Dolphins the last 3 years.
He's all the way in the back. You can see him.
Here?
Nope. Down on the far end.
Beyond.
Yeah, he's beyond. He's a guy without the cap.
Without the cap. You can't see him. I couldn't see him. Was he there?
It's because you needed those glasses you had in that picture and that helmet. Here's a trying a long ball in the corner for Gathers, incomplete.
Guys, we're talking about Randy Shannon.
There he is.
And I have to tell you, he is one of the outstanding young coaches. He's a defensive coordinator. I mean, one day down the road, here's a young man, the way he coaches his team, instills confidence, and understands the game, will be an excellent head coach.
He's very pragmatic about the way he goes about his business. He doesn't get too high when things go right. He doesn't get too down when things go wrong. He's very level-headed. When we have a chance to sit down and talk to him, it's a pretty even keel. He's got a sharp football mind. Here's McGahee. And Larry Coker has said that defense is Randy Shannon's. I don't touch it.
Well, he certainly has them all playing well. The defensive line, he rolls in 8 defensive linemen, young group of linebackers, and about 6 or 7 defensive backs, and they are all aggressive. They're attacking, trying to sack the quarterback, and they're attacking, trying to get pickoffs. And they, like I said, they lead the nation in turnovers and takeaways.
Pontiac 1st and 10 is about 2 yards away from where Miami has it right now. Krudic's going to try to throw for it. Maybe. Scrambles away. Now he's got room in front of him. Throws anyway. He should have kept that and gotten the 1st down. Instead, he was incomplete with a throw. And it's 4th down and a couple. And no matter how you slice it, it looks like, more points are upcoming. If Larry Coker doesn't kick a field goal here, it looks like he's running things up. If he does, he's going to have 61 points. I mean, and as you said, the guys that don't play much want to play, so they're going to play right here, 4th down. There's no perfect solution to being up on the scoreboard this lopsided and making everybody happy, including your opponent. So 4th down and 2 from the 15. Crudic, nice play fake. Wanted the naked bootleg, and he's going to go down. So he loses about 5, and the Huskies will take over on downs.
Good defense there.
11:40 remaining in the ball game. Miami cruising right now, 58-7.
Do you think you're making a difference? We do. Since you started being a designated driver, or calling a cab for a friend, or serving responsibly, drunk driving fatalities are down 37%. To all who are making a difference, thank you.
It's a better place to live. It's a better place to live thanks to you.
Ho, ho, ho!
Oh, I hope you didn't put all those on the credit card.
Yeah, why?
Do you know what those interest charges are going to do to us?
Don't worry. I used our new Capital One No Hassle card.
Fed up with exploding credit card rates? To the neighbors! With Capital One's new No Hassle Platinum card, you get one low fixed rate and none of the hassle.
Gotta tell Steve and Laura about Capital One.
What's in your wallet?
Americans have places to go, things to do, so they go Midas. Alignment, we do that. Air conditioning, we do that. Brakes, we do that. So for total car care by certified technicians, who does it all? Midas, we do that.
Your search for the right financial partner brings you to the Pacific Life family of companies, managing more than $300 billion in assets. Discover the power of Pacific Life.
Our Pacific Life game summary. It all started on the first series to unravel for Washington. Vilma's interception, one of many tonight. Campbell, the other linebacker, had one. McDougal not only picked it off the big defensive lineman, took it all the way to the end zone for the touchdown. And Cody Pickett has had a rough night. This Miami defense is just too good. And he's been intercepted 5 times, sacked 4 times, and John Vilma with the ice pack on his bicep. New quarterback is in. Cody Pickett's night was not good, and it's done. And that means that Taylor Barton's in at the controls for the Huskies from their own 20. And Moss on the play. Alexis maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. With 11:30 left here, let's go to Times Square Stadium in New York. Here's John.
Well, Brad, we got one that's a little bit tighter between Notre Dame and Stanford. The Irish have led throughout the game, but Casey Moore here punches this one across. The 7 points gets it to 13-10. There's about 6 minutes left in the game. We'll let you know what happens. Brad, back to you.
All right, John, thanks. A little bit tighter. I guess so.
A little bit tighter.
This one couldn't get any looser.
How about last week, 59-0?
Yeah, John knows what we're going through. Pick up of maybe a yard on the carry.
Tackled by Howard Scott.
ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Pontiac. What would you do with some Pontiac excitement? Budweiser, who salutes America's designated drivers. Verizon Wireless, join in. And new Pepsi Twist. Pepsi and Diet Pepsi with a twist of lemon. Miami has twisted and turned Washington every way but loose tonight. They lead 58-7. It's 3rd down and 9 for the Huskies. Martin's throw incomplete. Arnold got a hand on it.
All right, you got first-year coach. He's 10-0. You vote for him for Coach of the Year? What about my man Ralph Friedgen up in Maryland? Gary Croton out in BYU?
Yep.
It'll
be tough.
Who do you vote for?
Well, I don't know. I think the cupboard was fuller here, but you still have to coach him. And Ralph, I think, maybe with the most amazing job.
I think the job Friedgen did in Maryland. I think even if Coker would win a national championship, I don't know.
Here's a kick. Ed Reed's going to take this punt return at the 40. Edward Reed, a little dipsy-do outside. Got about 16 on the run back. And he's not even the regular punt returner. Reed, one of the great players in college football. You talk about awards, and if that guy's not the Thorpe Award winner as the best defensive back, he's going to be in the top 3.
Oh, he is in the top 3. And he's in with some good ones. Quentin Jammer from Texas and Roy Williams from Oklahoma. But this kid, it'd be hard not to give it to him.
There's a few roses down there on the sideline.
Yeah.
Being passed around.
Well,
and that's not because it's Valentine's Day.
I wouldn't be showing those to
Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech and the boys up there.
They do want to show their fans, though, I'm sure, and that's kind of why they're being passed around. McGahee breaks out of the pack, and he's got a tough run for a first down. Jonathan Vilma started it all with the interception, and he said, you know, the reception we got from the Husky fans out in Seattle was not too cool last year.
I remember the fans after the game, how they acted towards us after we lost that game. I remember the taunting that was going on, the taunting on the way to the locker room from the players, the Washington players and the fans. And I remember that they didn't really handle themselves with class after they beat us, so that really stuck in my mind.
It was pretty vivid. You could tell when he was telling us that story that that's something he won't forget until probably tonight. He'll get it out of his system. And it's amazing because the coaches all week long, as the media tried to make something of the fact that Washington was a team that was 2-0 against Miami in the short, but as Bob said, very potent series in that they broke a long winning streak here and then wrecked their season last year and given them their only loss. And the coaches kind of tried to stay away from all that. Larry Coker says, you know, we don't need revenge as a factor. I think just the fact that we're trying to get the national championship is more important. But when you talk to the kids, they had a little different view on it sometimes.
And Randy Shannon, the defensive coordinator, says you can't go out there with revenge in mind because you won't play well.
You'll forget what you're supposed to do.
You forget your assignments. You'll just try to jam the guy. You'll try to get physical with him when you shouldn't. And Mike Rumpf did that with Penn State. He played a very poor game
against Penn State 2 years ago.
2 years ago, and then tried to get even with him and didn't play well at all.
And so he put Mike up kind of on the front of the group and said, we don't want what happened to Mike Rumpf to happen to you guys, not staying focused. And he said, Mike, was that the worst game you ever played? He says, yes, sir. So the example was made.
Yeah.
3rd down 5. Here's McGahee, who's running awfully well since he's come in here.
This Miami team, Brad, and I've been around a lot of them, and the players and the quality of the players is a heck of a lot different than they had in the late 80s and the early 90s. You know, Schnellenberger won a championship. Jimmy Johnson won a championship. Dennis Erickson won 2 championships. But Butch Davis didn't win a championship, but he was the guy that was instructed to turn this program around. He for 3 seasons he went without 31 scholarships and had a losing season in there, but really turned the program around.
Fumble. Again, he dropped it and he got it back. That's the way things are going for this team. You're absolutely right, Bob. And you know, in spending time, and we've done so many Miami games, we've been around these kids a lot. And there's a couple that have some swagger. Portis has got a little bit of that old, I guess, what everybody remembered from Miami. But a lot of these kids are so businesslike, and they're fun to be around, and they're not a bunch of woofers and talkers. And
they're quality kids.
Yeah.
Quality kids.
They refer to that quiet confidence as the silent violence. And I've seen a lot of it this afternoon.
No doubt about it. The fullback straight ahead, close to the 15. Kyle Cobia on the carry. Lobendon, the linebacker, made the stop, and we're down under 7 minutes.
Well, next Saturday they go against Virginia Tech, and Virginia Tech lost a couple of games earlier in this season. They lost at home against Syracuse. They lost on the road at Pittsburgh.
And at that point, they had already worked their way all the way up to about 5th in the polls.
But look at the Miami Virginia Tech series. Miami's lost 5 of the last 6, and the last 3 up there at Va Tech.
Not an easy place to play. Good defense, tough place, tough crowd, tough everything.
Very good defense, and you never know what the weather is going to be.
And our extended forecast, we talked about this morning, and we got our crack staff looking it up. It's going to be it isn't going to be 75 and sunny, I'll tell you that much.
No, it isn't.
As long as it's not snowing, I'll be okay on the sideline. Not that you guys can be concerned about me getting wet.
Yeah, we're always concerned about you, Swanee. And cold weather, the Miami team does not like particularly, or it just fell that way. But it'll be a different story next Saturday afternoon, and we'll be there to bring it to you.
I think the biggest thing, and we've had their games the last 2 weeks, and they've scored 59 points last week against Syracuse and 58 here tonight, is the game was here in the Orange Bowl. They play very well in the Orange Bowl against quality opponents. But next week, they'll be on the road, and it's a little bit different when you don't have that crowd and the conveniences, and you got to go on the road, and you really got to hang together as a team.
When you got your pads off, you know that you've done your work, and the seniors and the linemen there, including Juan Gonzalez, came out with about 28 seconds left in the 3rd quarter to a standing ovation in their final home appearance. Crudip dancing around, finally throws, has a man open, caught it, touchdown. Jason Gather stayed with it. Crudip threw a strike.
Well, he danced around, bought some time.
Got hit by Zach Tuiasosopo when he let go, and he still got it there. Good throw. And Dorsey with a big smile there, waiting to meet him to congratulate him on the touchdown toss.
That's his first touchdown pass of his career. Screwed up.
He had run for one this year, but never thrown for one. And Jason gathered it. Gudip hung in there, took a shot right in the chin. Gathers on the other end, gathers it in the corner. Miami with everybody in the act, 65-7.
What would you do if someone passed you the keys to a Pontiac Grand Prix for a week?
I'm out, man. Let's go.
I'm out to see the world. San Francisco, here we go.
Are we having fun yet? It doesn't take much to have fun, does it?
It's like riding on a surfboard.
You're gonna have to call me Dixie if I wear this.
All right, Dixie.
I can smell the salt water from here. Give us the swell, baby.
So what would you do with the Pontiac Grand Prix? Tell us at Pontiac.com.
There's some good surf out there.
It's the gift of a grandchild's laugh. It's the gift of a sister's advice. It's the holiday gift they'll really love. Time together. Thanks to Verizon Wireless.
Now get 3,500 total monthly minutes for just $35 monthly access on select digital plans, so you can call anyone, anywhere in the U.S. and talk all you want with nationwide long distance included. And get a free Motorola phone with activation after mail-in rebate.
So give your loved ones the gift they really want. You. Verizon Wireless. Join in.
What would you do if someone passed you the keys to a Pontiac Grand Prix for a week?
We're on our way to Lime Rock, premier Grand Prix racetrack around here.
Where else would you take a Grand Prix except on a Grand Prix track?
Let me see how you handle, baby.
Did I tell you? It's so much fun. Get out of my way.
Talk about an adventure. None of us have ever been to AC. Tuxes, dinner. What do you mean it's nice? I don't look like a waiter.
Can you hit him? So what would you do with the Pontiac Grand Prix?
Elvis!
Tell us at Pontiac.com.
A daughter's first love, caught in her bedroom.
What do you think I should do with you, Tony?
Do whatever you want to do. I knew my wife and kids, ABC Wednesday.
Away from the field, D. Pickett, Cody Pickett's dad, who spent 20 years on the pro rodeo circuit. And in fact, in '84 was the national champion cowboy. And doing a little pig stringing right there. Pretty good time.
I was looking at the poor cow. Calf.
That's pretty good time. And Cody over there spent the summer doing that. Sophomore year, he earned $30,000 in one summer. I found out from the coaches, one summer on the team roping situation. And, you know, that's not an easy thing to do. He's a tough kid. He can handle this. I got on the horse, and I tried roping Sebastian over here during halftime, you see, and I got him. That was actually my second try.
Nice toss, Swanee.
I saw Sebastian kind of helped you, though.
He kind of helped me a little bit, and the Miami Police Mountain Division helped me out with the horse there. But that's a hard thing to do when the horse is moving and you're roping the cow.
Swanee back in the saddle again, like old Gene Autry riding champion. That was a pretty good
maybe
toss,
the Lone
though.
Ranger.
Yeah, well, there you go. Everybody's got their silver, their trigger, or their champion. You got to have one. Swanee does a little bit of everything, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's been in the bowels of the stadium. He's been on horseback.
He's been everywhere.
He was firing cannons last week. 65-7 is our score. Somebody please hold the football for the kicker, would you? So we can all get out of here. We got 5 minutes left in this game. I'm begging somebody to hold that for Todd Severs to not make the pain any longer. Sean Taylor will do that. Thanks, Sean. Oh, you won. Alexis and Frederick are back deep. At the goal line, Alexis. And Rich, man, did he get tattooed at about the 16-yard line. Our aerial views of the Orange Bowl provided by Budweiser's own Budweiser.com airship. Seen by millions on its ongoing Goodwill tour. This Bud's for you, and thanks for being with us, fellas, tonight. Great shots, beautiful scene on a beautiful night. Just wasn't very pretty for the Huskies and their fans. First down at the 16-yard line. Singleton back in there in the backfield. Barton at the controls at quarterback. Singleton got a couple. Howard Clark, the middle linebacker, made the stop. Don't forget, coming up Monday Night Football, you get Tampa Bay and the Rams together. You got a pretty good battle. You got some defense for Tony Dungy. And then you got the guys on the fast track, including Marshall Faulk.
He's got a set of receivers, doesn't he?
Doesn't he ever?
And he uses them. He's bright, intelligent, moves the ball around.
Last time those teams got together was Faulk and Warrick Dunn, back and forth and back and forth. Maybe more of that Monday night, 9 Eastern, right here on ABC. Second down and 7. Barton holds it a long time, goes down the middle, and he got his man. He hit Williams, and the big freshman's got 11 more yards to his credit. That's what's happened the last 2 games. Largest margin of victory in back-to-back wins against ranked teams.
Ranked teams, yeah.
Syracuse came in trying to battle Miami for the Big East crown, lost that battle. And Washington came in here ranked 11th in the BCS poll tonight, and they suffered the same fate.
Syracuse was beating Boston College, weren't they?
They were beating them last time I looked by, I think, a couple of touchdowns. Barton, quick slant. Williams has another one. Nice move. 15 more for Williams.
Miami has their second unit on the field at the time.
Right. Down to 3.5 minutes. There's Mount McKinney. I think Brian McKinney hadn't given up a sack his career. And Ken Dorsey is happy that he hasn't given up a sack in his career. He's got that wall to stand behind. A quick opening draw, and it opens up for Singleton.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Miami's first team defense come back on the field. They are very proud of the fact that they lead the nation in scoring defense.
The back-to-back games with this many points, also a school record that has stood since 1933. I don't know if Howard Buck was still coaching him in 33 or not.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. He had a pretty good squad in 26, though. Here's Barton. Throws short. Oh, almost another interception. That would have been another linebacker pick by Howard Clark. You think I'm kidding? I know my Howard Buck. 26-28. He had started 8-0 as a rookie coach. Look at some of these guys he's got. There's Howard. Look at that guy sitting next to him, though. What do you think that kid's doing right now? He didn't look big enough to play football or old enough to play football. Oh boy, we go back in the archives. We dig up a little bit of everything else.
We got everything. We prepare for these blowouts.
Yeah. Not well enough. At the 34. Barton got to throw it in a hurry, incomplete. You know, the youth on this Miami team is amazing, too. We talked about a lot of the seniors that will be gone, but the guys behind them are young and good. And you mentioned Kenny Dorsey. He doesn't even turn 21 until late April. That just gives you an indication of how good he is at such a young age.
Yeah.
And speaking of birthdays, Mrs. Griese has a birthday today. Shay, happy birthday.
Shay?
If you're still watching this, God love you, Shay.
11:30, I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of late.
She'd probably be in bed with Maggie about this time.
She and you better clarify that. Maggie's the dog.
The yellow lab, yeah.
That doesn't sound good right away there. Barton. But Shay, happy birthday if you're still watching. Complete to Reddick. I don't know if it's John Saunders' birthday. I doubt it. He's had a long week. Let's check in with him in New York.
It feels like a year has passed since we last cut in here. Stanford against Notre Dame. Kenneth Tolan, 1 yard out, takes it in. They get the extra point, so the 4-point cushion at 17-13. Stanford then came up with an interception, so it looks like no winning season for the Irish.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Yep. And you know what all that means. Here's a give. Matthias Wilson, the fullback, gets a carry. We're down to the final 2 minutes from the Orange Bowl, which has been our little home away from home the last couple of weeks. Miami's only trailed in a football game one time this year. That was to Pittsburgh, 7-6. They've been tied a couple of times.
Say that again.
They've only trailed one time this year in a football game, 7-6 to the Panthers.
This is their 10th game.
And now they're going to have a 20-game winning streak, and they are going to more than make up for. Nice play at the very end there by Clark, the linebacker. That looked like it was going to be a touchdown. Maybe it's not a nice play. There's a flag down. I didn't think he hit him until the ball got there. Singleton was the intended receiver.
Well, let's take a look.
Here comes the linebacker.
There's nothing wrong
hit
there.
Him in the helmet. It hit Clark in the helmet. So.
Yeah, nothing wrong there.
Shouldn't be interference. The ball never got to the receiver, and it hit the defender in the helmet, and he made a good play.
Pass interference against the defense. 15-yard penalty.
No.
That's a bad call.
No. There's no pass. I don't get on officials, but there was no pass interference on that shot that we had. Maybe somewhere else, but not on that one.
No. No way.
These officials do a good job most all the time, and we don't criticize them. But that was a good play, Howard Clark.
I will say one other thing. They missed a fumble in the first half.
That's true.
Barton. Play action. He's got a lot of time. Lofts it. Almost intercepted. Roll made a nice play on the ball. And another flag down.
All kinds of time to throw the football. You can tell that first group is not in there rushing the passer.
Maybe he had all that time because somebody was holding. That's a personal foul on Miami. So half the distance to the goal. The Miami front line defenders are not going to like this, because if Washington gets a touchdown here, it doesn't look as impressive to them.
No, but you've got to let the second guys play. They work all week in practice. So this is the second line. Clark, Thomas, McClover.
So it's Singleton, the tailback, as they have it first and goal now. Washington does. Just inside the Miami 3-yard line. Singleton gets the call. He's met head on by Clark, the guy who they just called the penalty on. And Clark knocks him backward.
Howard Clark, 45, was a starting linebacker last year and is the backup to John Vilma this year. So they've got some depth in that defensive linebacker position.
Notre Dame and Stanford is a final. The Cardinal wins it by 4. They've had a pretty impressive season in the Pac-10. This season was going pretty well for Rick Neuheisel at 8-2 before tonight. Third down and goal. And they've got third down on the marker. I guess it's second down and goal. And almost a fumble it is. Covered by one of the offensive linemen. Aaron Butler got back on it.
Thomas that got through the line, number 56, and caused the fumble.
5 seconds left in the game. Timeout taken by Washington. That'll get a chorus of boos, no doubt. We'll take a timeout with them. Final play of the ball game is coming up.
Behold the legendary Lord of the Rings. rings. Behold Gandalf, the wizard. Behold Frodo, the hobbit. And now they're not just to behold, they're to be held. Now at Burger King, when you behold and buy a Whopper value meal, even when you hold the pickles, get a magical Lord of the Rings light-up glass goblet, just $1.99 each. Collect all 4 and behold Strider, the Ranger, and Arwen, the Elf. They're all yours to have and to hold. The adventure begins here.
Hey, Hallie Eisenberg, drinking a Pepsi.
Actually, this isn't a Pepsi. It's new Pepsi Twist with lemon. And I'm not Hallie Eisenberg.
I'm Halle Berry. Drinking Pepsi Twist.
Well, it's not exactly Pepsi Twist. It's Diet Pepsi Twist. And I'm not exactly Halle Berry.
You know?
I'm Barry Bostwick.
Who is Barry Bostwick?
Like twists? Try new Pepsi Twist in regular and diet. A lemon twist on that great Pepsi taste.
Oh, yeah! EA Sports. Big.
Rated E for everyone.
5 seconds left in a 65-7 game, and a timeout was called. They put 5 seconds back on, so actually 10 seconds left. Might be a couple plays here if needed. 3rd and goal for Washington. I think everybody's tired. They had the 3rd down marker up last play. Now they got it back to 2nd. I don't think they have any idea what's going on out there, but it is 3rd and goal. You can see the marker on the far side says 2nd down. Trust me, it's 3rd down.
Everybody on the Miami sideline is up. All the players are standing.
They want to stop. Miami almost jumps in the neutral zone, and now there's a flag down.
So much to do about
so little
here at the end of the game.
If I read Rick's lips right, it seemed like he said, if you don't get it, call timeout.
5 yards.
Yes.
No, 2nd down.
If you got them, you use them. They got 2 timeouts left. And now 3rd and goal back at the 10.5-yard line. Don't forget, we'll be in Blacksburg next week. Miami trying to stay perfect. Oregon State, Oregon, Notre Dame, Purdue, the other games right here on ABC. And the Big 12, Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship, 8 o'clock Eastern next Saturday night. Barton goes to the end zone. It's intercepted. Everybody in on the act. Antrell Roll, the 6th interception of the night by the Miami defense, and the 7th turnover overall.
Antrell Roll is a 3rd-string safety, getting some time in the ball game. That's a duck, underthrown. 7 turnovers, 6 interceptions, as you mentioned.
And McDougal has one of them, including a touchdown. He says, yeah, we held them to 7. So that's the way it will end.
And we'll next see the Hurricanes in Blacksburg. Virginia Tech is the only team that stands between them and a trip to the Rose Bowl. And the Rose Bowl parade and all the other things that go along with Pasadena. How nice.
One more hurdle.
If they get there, they're going to have a great time.
One more hurdle left. This one was not a hurdle. Wasn't even a bump in the road. Our Chevrolet most valuable players, Jerome McDougal with that interception. He had a fumble recovery as well. And Rich Alexis, who went to high school here in the area, had a pretty good night offensively for the Huskies. In recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. We thank you for being with us from the Orange Bowl tonight. Skins game, don't forget, tomorrow, 3:30. Norman, Harnavick, Montgomery, and Woods will be there. 65-7 is the final. For Bob Griese and Lynn Swan, I'm Brad Nesler. So long from the Orange Bowl in Miami. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com. Keyword ABC Sports. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, continuing the tradition of excellence. From Miami, good night.